welcome to the final round of the American Touring Car Championship. This is the 8th and final round, the grand finale at Mount Panorama, and I'm joined today by the very lovely Bjorn de Haas.
Good evening or good morning, everybody.
And Mr. Tech Expert Toby Davis.
Hello Ryan, and hello to all you out there.
It'll be a great night at Mount Panorama. We've got two 40-minute races up for you, and the championship hangs in the balance as well. 3 drivers have a chance going into this final round. We'll show you those standings right now, and you can see those. Top in those standings is Jesper Torborg, 11.23, got 23-point advantage over VR. So that means if VR does not get pole in this race, he just needs 2 third positions. Just is of course not quite the word for it, but if you manage to win one of the races, he only needs 6th place. So it's very realistic there for Torborg. As I say, VR needs Torborg to drop points, and Barrick is a little ways back, but he still is in with a shout at the championship. But he's also under threat from Yuri Braham and Miguel Nato for that podium position in the championship. Tanner Scullock, his solid season has seen him move up to 6th place with Saul Boucher in 7th. Reigning champion Vincent Kahn won't be here tonight, so he's in 8th position in the championship. Eric Nelson also missing, so he's in 9th. And Matthias Klein will be looking to take advantage of that and move up past those 2. But Bjorn, you'll be driving the safety car for us today on the formation laps. How much are you looking forward to this grand finale? What do you see happening? Plenty of action?
Yeah, like you said, the race is going to start with a safety car, which is a totally new concept for the ATCC. Looking forward to that one. Also, I think it's a great honor for me to drive the safety car, by the way. What's going to happen in the race, just like you mentioned, I hope we're going to see a nice tight fight between Jesper and Francisco. Actually, I can't wait. I'm ready for the action.
It's going to be good stuff. And Toby, several drivers have been complaining about tyre wear here. How do you think they're going to be able to manage that?
Well, these are the 2 longest races that guys will have done on the tyres before now. The longest they will have been on tyres will be maybe 12 or 13 minutes. With such long races, set tyres, they'll have to make them last 20 minutes. So the guys who will be up there will be the guys who can make their tyres last the longest whilst maintaining pace.
That's correct. How do you see the pit strategy going, though? Do you think anybody will gamble on 2 tyres, or do you think everybody will change 4 during the pit stops? I mean, with it being such a longer race, and it being almost twice as long as the normal races, and people complaining about tyre wear with a 2 tyre stop, you would expect them to all go 4 tyres, but you think someone will roll the dice?
Maybe, but with a long race, you don't need to gain so much time in the pit stops themselves. So I think you'll find the optimum strategy is to change all 4 tyres at the pit stop. I think that's the strategy we'll see being used.
Yeah, I would agree as well. We're actually going to be joined by one of the competitors, Robert Isles, who's a hometown hero, of course, from Australia. As we are in Australia, we're on Mount Panorama. We'll show some of the action now for you. Just in the free practice session, there's just 7 minutes to go until qualifying. No, it would help if the... There we go. I can't quite get the standings up at the moment, guys, but we're watching Emil Sorborg at the moment.
Yeah, Emil had a good run out last time at Laguna Seca. He was very close to taking his first win in ATCC in the second race, and was unlucky not to get that win.
Ah, there we are. Finally, we get to the standings for you, and at the moment, Robert Isles is in 9th position in the standings. So we'll get him down for a quick chat before qualifying. We don't not interrupt his concentration too much. Hopefully, we can get him down here. As I say, yeah, Emil did have a very good run at Laguna Seca. Of course, he was almost at the win there, but Jesper Torborg cruelly denied him to take his second double win of the season. And we are now able to welcome Robert Isles. Hello, Robert.
Hello.
How much are you looking forward to racing on your hometown track as it kind of is in the ATCC?
A great deal. I've been looking forward to this all season.
And how do you fancy your chances? Apparently, you're looking quite quick at the moment. 9th position in practice. Now, how's your race pace?
It's consistent, which I think is the key to this track. It's not about absolute raw speed. It's more about making sure you can finish every lap and not hit the walls.
Exactly. There's plenty of deadly walls around there. What's your favourite corner at this track?
Definitely the chase. It's just beautiful, the corner.
It is. It always amuses me that corner was put there in the name of safety. I mean, only the Australians would do that.
Yeah, I think that was for when the World Touring Cars came out here in the 80s, if my memory serves.
Yeah,
I dread to think how fast V8 supercars would be without that corner.
Yeah, that's very true actually. Well, yeah, perhaps with the limited diff. Anyway, we're not going to V8 supercars because you'll get me talking. It was put in '87 for the WTCC after there was a death in '86, wasn't there? At the end of Conroe Straight, when you should just a flat blast all the way down to Hell Corner. Sorry.
For my time.
Before your time. I've watched them all, I'm afraid. A bit of a Mount Panorama geek. Thanks for chatting with us, Robert. I will get back to the action because it's only 4 minutes until qualifying, so we want to get your game face on. And we wish you best luck in the race. Robert Isles there. Do you think the Australians, with their local knowledge as it kind of is, do you think they'll have a better chance here today, Bjorn?
Depends. I really hope so. I mean, we have a few Australians here, 3 or 4. I really hope they can do well in their home Grand Prix, as well as well, maybe Reece Gardner can snatch pole position and get like one of the first races. No, I really hope the boys are going to do well, you know.
Here is Reece Gardner. He's an Australian as well. We've got 4, I think, isn't there altogether?
I do think so, yeah.
Yeah, Robert Isles, Paul Wood, Daniel Wood, and Reece Gardner. But let's check in with the main contenders for the championship. Keith Barrett's in 14th at the moment, but he's just joined the service, so he's just getting a quick couple of laps in before the qualifying. They're all winding themselves up for the qualifying. I mean, how do you approach the final few minutes of practice when you're racing, Toby?
Well, you've been practicing all the time, hopefully on your race setup. That's the one that obviously makes the difference. You can only score points with your race setup, so
that pays the money, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You do all your practice on your race setup, and only maybe 10% on your qualifying setup. So the guys at the end of practice will be switching to that now, just getting themselves reacquainted with that and making sure they know what they have to do.
And what kind of tricks do you pull for your qualifying setup? What difference is it to the race one?
You want to make the car more pointy. You want to make it turn into the corners better, because rear tyre wear, obviously it doesn't matter. You want to get the tyres also up to temperature quicker, so you boost the tyre pressures almost as much as you can without losing grip. Yeah, I mean those are the 2 big changes. The front wheel drive cars tend to be oversteery anyway, yeah, I mean with the BMW you do a couple of different changes. You might harden the front suspension so that you don't use the rear tyres up too quickly. You don't want them overheating. But with the front wheel drive cars, it doesn't matter so much. Absolutely.
And I know it isn't one of your favourite tracks. You enjoy driving it and you appreciate it, but you never seem to do as well as you hope here. I say it's one of my absolute favourite tracks, and probably the track for me in terms of worldwide. You know, I understand Le Mans and Daytona and of course Suzuka and Spa and even Nordschleife, but even those pale into insignificance for me.
Yeah, it's always been a classic track. They've only made a few changes over the years, and every change has improved the layout for me. Yeah, I mean it's a stunning flowing track, and is really, as you say, it's right up there. I don't think anything quite beats the Nordschleife in terms of challenge, but yeah, it's certainly right up there.
Yeah, I would say the Nordschleife is a more challenging track, but I must say I really do enjoy this quite a bit. How about you, Bjorn? What do you think to this track? You're going to be driving the safety car around it. Are you going to be very safe in that safety car, by the way?
I do hope so.
I'm surprised you're being trusted.
Well, to drive the safety car here, it's a bit tricky. Like at the back straight, you have the dipper, you have Skyline, you have leading up to Conrad Straight. It's just so twisty there. You can easily crash it, and I mean, I just hope I'm going to be safe. But just like Toby is mentioning, it's a great track. It's one of those tracks who definitely stand out in the race world.
Absolutely. Let's go on board with Jesper through the top of the mountain. There's going through Summer Park now over McPhillan, which is a blind, very fast, pretty much flat out in these cars, left-hander, then diving over into Skyline. Very, very easy in the rear-wheel drive cars to lock the rear brakes and just slide off straight into that barrier on the right-hand side there, or of course into the wall. And then over the dipper, which is an insane corner where you just go on two wheels over there, getting the power as fast as you can down here. Not quite as much of a challenge in a touring car as it is in a V8 supercar, of course, but it's still very challenging indeed. The fastest real-life lap in a touring car of this kind of ilk is 16.8 by Jason Plato, which is under race conditions, which is the only time that counts as official. So we'll see what kind of times they compare against. That was set back in '97 when he was driving for Renault. We're watching Jesper now. It's so very smooth. And Toby, you've been appreciating Jesper throughout the season, really, haven't you?
Yeah, he's always really smooth and accurate as well. It's about precision and
as he runs onto the curve.
Well, yeah, but it's about being absolutely accurate through every corner, hitting the apex, and round Bathurst it's about skimming the walls, getting as close as you can, and that's where Jesper's pace comes from. You'll see one or two of the other guys, they tend to slide through corners or not quite use up all the track, and that's where Jesper's pace comes from. He does it so effortlessly as well. It doesn't look like he's pushing.
Absolutely. And as we were watching there, we saw one of the key elements actually at this track is getting into that pit lane, getting into it cleanly, not running wide, coming over the curves. There's several little curves there, aren't there, Bjorn? It's very, very, very easy just to overshoot and lose a couple of seconds.
It is. It's a dangerous track. I mean, you can if you lose it here, it's going to be hard to get back onto pace. I mean, you really need that flowing going on, and those curbs won't help you.
Absolutely not. One small loss concentration here, and it will be big damage. We are about to go into qualifying. Watching Keith Barrick here. How do you rate his chances here today, guys? I mean, he's quite a way behind in the championship, because what happened at Laguna Seca, of course, has really scuppered his hopes for the season, because he's been very consistent all season, fourth and fifth a lot, but not quite at the sharp end of the races. How do you rate his chances today? Do you think he can claw back that big gap that he's got?
I don't know. I mean, he has to come from far in it. What he needs, I think he's going to need race wins. That's one thing, and then he's still dependable on either Jesper or Francisco. So it's going to be really tight for him. To be honest, I don't think he's gonna win the championship. But that's mine opinion.
Well, he's got to make 39 points up, which when you compare the fact that there are 205 points available, it's not out of the question. But of course, he's got to hope that Torborg and VR both slip up. If VR gets two set places, then Barrett can't win the championship. And if Torborg is on podium positions each time, he doesn't win the championship either. And of course, with Torborg, it was on top of the timesheets, as you can see, during free practice. He's looking threatening. Whereas Keith is back in 7th. But Keith was mentioning in the pre-races actually that the Honda was using its tyres more than the Peugeot. What do you guys think of that?
Well, yeah, the tyre wear is the crucial thing. I mean, Talberg, looking at his times, was miles ahead of everyone, and that's the same as Laguna. Tyre wear will be the crucial thing, and if that is the case, then we could see Talberg running away with it for the first few laps, and then being caught by the guys behind. And Keith will want to be right up there, but yeah, I mean, Jesper's pace looks brilliant, and if someone manages to sneak into the 15s, I think it'll be Jesper.
Absolutely. I mean, he was on a 16.1 there. VR did pop up in the final few seconds with a 16.3, so he's not very far behind at all. And of course, that BMW is very fast on the straights, very low drag, and we're watching Jesper now as he comes through under the tree, through Reed Park now, down into Sulman Park. It's wonderful dipping layouts, beautiful track. Around they go through Sulman Park and around now through McPhillamay. Some big accidents there over the years. Run over the curve on the inside, use all the track on the outside, come back across the track. Some guys like to go narrow into there, some guys like to to go out wide, run across the curb, down into the S's and now into the dipper, throw it over there, get your power on as soon as you can, try not to understeer wide of course in a front wheel drive car, and get yourself on a nice line here, nice tight line around there into Forest Elbow. It's very, very easy just to push too hard and get a poor line into Forest Elbow and get a poor exit as a result. And now blasting down Conrad. Really is an amazing straight.
This is where the BMWs will watch them just cruise past some of the less aerodynamic cars, and we'll watch them in the race. VR especially, if he has a poor qualifying, we'll watch him cut through the pack really through there.
Well, I'm worried about the consistency factor for the BMWs though, of course. It's a lot more difficult to drive a rear-wheel drive car here than it is to drive a front-wheel drive car here. Especially with the downhill braking into the S's and the dipper over Brock Skyline.
Yeah, it's. I think VR has not made too many mistakes though so far this season. I think he can handle those particular challenges. It's whether he can make his rear tyres last, but certainly early on he'll be looking to make up some ground. The tyres on his BMW will warm up faster than the front wheel drive cars, so we'll watch for that one.
We will. Yeah, what of the benefit of the rear-wheel drive start in the first race, of course, because it's a rolling start, as Bjorn will drive the safety car. We're watching now Jesper Tarbo as he heads into Griffin's Bend. Very demanding corner here. Very, very easy to miss the inside apex and miss the camber as a result. You went over the curb on the exit, now flowing into the cutting. Get it tight in there, brake one gear down, another gear down, back into right in the cutting, right up against the camber there, then over this little king down to the right hand side, which is easily flat in these cars, then over and under the tree as it's called. Now through Sulman Park, dipping down here, getting the car lined up, right through they go, and then through down into McPhillamy, which is a scary, scary corner. Completely blind. It's actually possible to overtake people into that corner as well, which is quite surprising. Over Brock Skyline, and the road just drops away straight down into the S as it goes, then into the dipper, braking as hard as you can. Well, better in the brake actually down there, because of course it's very, very easy to lock up, especially in those rear-wheel drive cars. Keeping it in tight. He's doing pretty good lines so far. A little bit wider at the Forest Elbow than he would have liked, I think. He's blasting away down Constraight. What do you think of this lap so far, Bjorn?
It's a good lap. I don't know what it's going to bring him, but definitely a good lap. Saw a little mistake here and there, but you know, the lines are pretty good overall.
Yeah, he maybe took a little bit too much speed through the dipper.
Yeah, I thought that as well, especially through the S's as well. He bumped over the curb quite hard, didn't he? He's missed the curb at the chase, as Michael Carver's popped up first in the time sheet, 2:19.473. We're looking for drivers to go maybe 3.5 seconds faster than that overall. And Jesper Togbal goes into Hell Corner and out of it again. Diogo Lopez with a competitive time there, 16.5, and it's 15.8, 15.89 for Jesper Togbal. So that's a superb lap time there for the Danish driver, for the championship leader. And you called it, Toby. You said he would go into the 15s, and indeed he has.
Yeah, I said he'd be the one who might sneak into the 15s, and that wasn't even a perfect lap. It's just stunning how he's managed to pull that out. He just managed to maintain momentum. It's just an amazing drive there from Jesper.
It is a fantastic lap. So here's now Matthias Klein. He's finished his lap. He's 7th at the moment. Yuri Braham, who has a chance of overtaking Keith in the championship, is in 6th at the moment, but he'll be a little bit disappointed with a 17.3. That's checking on Francisco VR. He's the other main championship contender. He made a little mistake there. He went very, very close to the inside barriers, and of course understeered around there as well. So he obviously broke just a little bit too late. And he's always very, very pushing far too hard through there. He's giving himself a narrow entry into Forest Elbow. It doesn't seem like much, but then when you consider the fact that you have to run down all the way down this straight, it really can cost you. But he's only a quarter of a second down, Toby.
Yeah, he'll be right up there. If you look at Keith Barrack's up in 3rd as well with a 2:16.6, so at the moment Keith a fairly competitive time then from him.
Indeed it is, but crucially, Diogo Lopez is in ahead of him. So that's another fly in the ointment because he's a compatriot of VR, both Portuguese. So he might be looking to hold Keith up and allow VR plain sailing to go and attack Torborg, even defend from Torborg, depending on the lap time here. He's going to cross the line right now, and it's a 16.1, sorry. So he was still a quarter of a second down after the third sector as well, but he's on the front row provisionally. I would say only Miguel Neto will be looking to take the position away, and he's just finished the lap. Through Hell Corner he comes, squeezing the power on. Onto the curb he goes, but he's going to go a slow lap, 16.650, not slow, it's fourth position, but it's not quite what he would have wanted. But again, look at that. 3 Portuguese drivers in between Barrick and Torborg, so he's going to have a very difficult race, I feel. Do we reckon that Keith Barrick's chances have diminished, or do we reckon that they've stayed around about the same for after that qualifying? Go on.
What I think, I'm actually checking out the timetables now. First of all, I think that 2:15.8 is a really quick lap time of Jesper, and I think it's going to be pole position. But then again, if you look at 2, 3, 4, he's going to have 3 Portuguese drivers, which are going to work together, which are going to attack Jesper. And then Keith is in 5th, so he definitely going to get a hard time passing those Portuguese cars who are in a mission to get Jesper. So 3 different stories are going to occur on the front of the grid probably.
And Karen Madara is only quarter of a second down after sector 1, and he made a slight mistake. He clipped the exit of the cutting, so he's looking on fire at the moment. Oh, he's run wide though. That'll cost him probably 0.2 of a second. But again, there's also Hugo Gonçalves in 6th position, looks, with another Portuguese driver. So Keith is completely surrounded, and 2 BMW drivers rounding out the top 8, with VR up in 2nd place. So 3 BMWs in the top 8. See what Kara's split. Oh, he's made a big mistake there into Boris Elba. He's looking like a decent lap actually, wasn't it, up until that point? Look, he he lost at least 3/10 there as well.
At least that's crucial to your exit onto Conrad, and he's probably lost more than that actually. He looked really good through sector 1.
He was looking good through sector 1. He's wringing his neck through Sulman Park and McPhillip. He ran a little bit wide, and again, of course, it's ruined his exit onto the Conrad straight. Through chase he comes, braking hard now into the chase. Squeezing the power on the exit. A lot more difficult than it looks, isn't it, on the exit of the chase, Toby?
Yeah, the track sort of wants to take you into the gravel, and if you're on older tyres, it's easy to be caught out there. I think we'll see 1 or 2 drivers taking a trip across there. 8th place for Karen Madara.
Well, he'll be pleased with 8th place, but I think he could have got a little bit more, couldn't he? Because he went too fast into the final corner as well at Murray. So. But it's Jesper who's on pole, and that only strengthens his position at the top of the championship. It gives him another 3 points actually, which is actually quite crucial. Yeah,
I mean the gaps are so tight up there, and yeah, I mean if Fiat doesn't get him on the first lap, I think Jesper will should take race 1 victory. Yeah, Fiat, he'll want to get by him on Conrad as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, the name of the game is going to have to be sticking to Jesper. Of course, there's a big straight at the start of the lap as well, of course, up Mountain Straight. So he might be able to use that just to get close to Torborg and just and then stay close to him through the top of the mountain, and then of course draft him down into the chase.
Yeah, I do think he's going to attack on the Mountain Straight already. I think it's going to be a really good first lap. I do think Francisco is going to attack him straight away on Mountain Straight going upwards.
We're into Warwick now, so go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Jesper would be wise to that. It's not quite as long as Conrad, and if Jesper defends, gets on the inside, Via will have nowhere to get by him. But on Conrad, with the extra length and the extra time of drafting, I think he'll be able to literally go past him on the outside before they even get to the braking zone. So,
yep. So he's going to have to look out for that, of course. But there is also as well, with a slow corner onto the Mountain Straight, perhaps VR with his rear-wheel drive will be able to get a good exit from there.
Yeah, it could be, but I think first lap dicing. I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it goes. If he does get by him on mountain, then yeah, he's in a strong position, is Francisco. But I personally don't see that happening. I'm sticking my neck out there. We'll see what happens.
What do you think, Bjorn?
It's going to be tight. It's going to be, like I just mentioned, I think Francisco is going to attack on the first straight. I'm in for that one. And then what we're going to see with that now, we might see a big first lap incident like Macau, or we're going to see a good fight. I don't know what's going to happen. We just have to wait and see.
Well, for one thing, it's definitely going to be exciting, and here is the top 10 of the grid. And Captain van der Linde is in server 1 for this race. Of course, a WTM winner at the Laguna Seca. He missed out on Pukekohe, but he'll be back for Salzburgring, and he's shown well, and he's in 10th position. He'll be enjoying his run out here. Swiderski was bumped up to 9th by Bogdan's final lap. Robert Isles is 11th, Tyler Skurlock 12th, with Yuri Braham in 13th. Bjorn, he won't be happy with that, will he?
No, he won't. He was, I think, looking for at least a top 5, top 6 finish. But maybe, like the whole season, he can get a good first race, get into 8th position, and then snatch away pole position for the second race.
Well, we'll have to try. We'll have to wait and see, of course.
Calvin is very fast. I think if he does get ahead, I can see him getting ahead of Bogdan. Bogdan's been a little bit inconsistent this season, and Swiderski has had his fair share of bad luck. So he could easily get up there and get into the reverse grid.
He could indeed. It will be very interesting. So with the standings, with Torborg getting pole position, he'll have another 3 points. So he's got a 26-point gap on Francisco Vial, which means there's 202 points available for both wins. So he needs 176 points, no 177, sorry, because I think Vial will have more wins if he wins both races. So he needs 177 points to be assured of the title, which is basically 2 fifth positions, if I'm correct. Maybe 2 fourth positions.
And then 2 fourths is 172.
172. So he'll still need a 4th and a 2nd, which will give him 181.
But that is if Francisco wins, of course. I mean,
yeah, if Francisco wins both races.
Yeah. If Jesper has a bad position like 6, 7 or whatsoever, Francisco still needs to be up there with a win. But of course, they have 4 Portuguese drivers there working together.
Exactly. So, and if any mistake by Jesper and the Portuguese drivers will be straight through, and they're not going to let him pass, are they? They're going to let Vial pass.
I do. We can see a few team orders here and there.
Keith doesn't have Vincent Kahn as his backup this time around, though, of course.
And no Saul Boucher either, so he's the lone DHR driver.
Might count against him.
Might indeed. Michael Carver again in the server 1. Alessio Lucchesi has moved his way into server 1 as well for this final round, as did Eric Estes. So, second row racing, there's 1 minute to go. So, predictions for the championship, guys. I think I'm going to go with Torborg, I'm afraid. Any other takers on different drivers?
I would say Talberg is very strong for the championship. I would stick my neck out after race 1. We'll see where he finishes.
Come on. Stick neck out before race 1. Come on.
I don't want to. Jesper. We've got to go with Jesper from there, haven't we? I mean, he just looks so much quicker.
Yeah, we've got.
Francisco goes for Francisco wins race 1. Race 2 is going to be Yuri, and championship winner is going to be Jesper. I know I had it wrong all season, but trust me.
I've had it wrong all season. Yeah, you keep saying he's going to win, and he keeps losing. I think you should stop commentating, Bjorn. Every time you say Yuri's going to lose, he ends up like 15.
I'm just going to step into my safety car now. I'm just going to step into my safety car, so I'll see you guys in a minute.
Okay, Bjorn's going to step into the safety car. We'll have a chat with him while he's driving around. Hopefully. And here we are now going to the race. 2 minutes before the race starts, of course, joining the race grid. But also, there is a formation lap, so a good 6 minutes before we properly get racing. Other things to talk about, Toby. Do you think the top 5 in the championship are very far ahead of the rest of the field? Do you think that with Braham qualifying so poorly, do you think he's got a chance of overhauling Keith for 3rd in the championship?
I think more likely is NATO getting ahead of Braham. I mean, Yuri's down in, what is it, 13th?
Yep, 13th place, yeah.
He's going to struggle in race 1, but he as Bjorn says, he might get into the reverse grid for race 2. But that's his only chance really, if he gets into the reverse grid and gets into the top 2 rows for race 2.
I just have to find my way through forward to the grids as, when the lights go out. It's really tight here.
We can see you, Bjorn.
Yeah, I'm
flashing
still
lights
at the
and
back,
everything.
guys.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
You look very pretty, Bjorn. Look at you.
Yeah, it's probably one of my fastest cars this year. It's going to be hard to find a way forward though. It's really tight.
It is a tight grid, so hopefully people just stay put and let him get past.
There's a gap over there on the right next to the barrier. You could use that.
Yeah, I think it's near
On the grass.
Abdul.
Something you know well, isn't it, Bjorn?
Yeah, well, at least I'm on the grid position I'm used to. At least I'm on the grid position I'm used to.
That's a bit mean. I feel sorry for Bjorn now.
Okay. I don't know if I can go forward now.
It may be that drivers need to part ways. Feel free to join TeamSpeak, join their TeamSpeak channel if you need to. We'll catch up with you in a second, I think. Bjorn's trying to make his way through. Come on.
Why has he turned right into? Why has he turned right?
I don't know. Why has he gone that way? Poor Ethan has to get out of the way. What's he doing? Reverse. He's put his lights on. He can't find reverse. There you go. Bjorn. Oh, he's gone on the grass. Look.
Yeah, that's the route I would have taken.
Oh. Let's follow good up. Other people just have to get out of the way because the grid is so tight here that people would start right next to the grass and he actually can't squeeze through. Look. He's just making a complete ass of it. Poor drivers. Going through.
I'll tell you what.
This is supposed to be a professional league. Come on.
I'll tell you what. Looking at the grid placing for race 2, it's going to be very tight off the start.
It is indeed.
On a slightly more serious note.
Yes, yeah. Get back to the racing end. Hello, Bjorn.
Good evening, I'm back again. A little bit of rally crossing.
You just managed to make your way through there. That was quite amusing, to be fair. So, Bjorn sets off on his formation lap. He's going to maintain a speed of 105 kilometers an hour. See if the field actually catch up to him. Might be helpful. Here is our pole sitter, Jesper Torborg, driving for Synaptic Racing. In the team championship, DHR have it all sewn up, so no contest there really. With Synaptic missing a driver for most of the season, and also Team Portugal only having 2 drivers. They were the big players, of course. Synaptic do have 2 teams, but they obviously A team and B team, and they scored differently. Alpha and Bravo. An excellent qualifying run from Diogo Lopez, though, Toby. He'll be very pleased with that, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those drivers that's either there or he's not, and that's where he's been this season. He's either been there or he's not, but yeah, he'll be happy with P4. We didn't really see that in practice until right at the end. I think he popped up, so he's obviously been keeping his cards close to his chest. It's a shame Robert Isles isn't further up the grid.
Now let's check where Robert is. Actually, he's back in 12th, so it's not so bad. He could easily move his way up from there. The other natives, as it were, 16th Reece Gardner, 18th Daniel Wood, and 22nd Paul Wood. So we'll look for them to go through as Bjorn leads them around. How's it going there, Bjorn? Is it all going well?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I have a big field of cars behind me. Of course, Jesper and Phil are there, just waiting to get the green flag, and tension is just building up.
How does it feel to lead a race for once, Bjorn?
No comment, my friend.
He's always telling me how he has won races, they just haven't been registered.
You're doing a very good job, Bjorn. You haven't crashed it yet, which is helpful. This is quite narrow actually. Look at them all streaming through the S's. Actually quite narrow through there, even at this kind of speed. It is very much a one-line corner that through the dipper as well. Until you get all the way down to Forest Elbow, really, there's no way for any drivers to get through. And perhaps just there if they get an excellent run off the corner, but that's unlikely to happen.
So it's a waste of time. If you're faster than the guy ahead, you might as well wait till Conrad and get a better exit onto Conrad than try and make a move in a potentially risky point of the track, especially with such long races.
Exactly. Even if you're not that much faster, you can easily draft all the way down the straight, so it'll be interesting. Of course, these cars don't go quite as fast as a V8 supercar around here, so there's plenty of time to draft. So 2:16.8 is the real life lap time in a super touring car, not an S2000, but that's as close as we can get. So Bjorn, are you excited?
I am. Can't wait to get the race started. I mean, I'm up to.
Make sure you pull into the pits, yeah. Don't actually carry on with the race.
Oh, can I lead at least one lap, please?
Right, when you get into the pits, just like floor it so you cross the line before they do.
Yeah.
Speed in the pits. Okay, Bjorn is now pulling off back to the serious business, and the field is streaming down towards Murray Corner. An excellent sight, this rolling start. It's two abreast. Jesper Torborg on pole, alongside him is Francisco Villar and Diogo Lopez and Miguel Neto. And they stream. Jesper's taken the inside line into the first turn, and they're going to cross the line now, and away they go. And Jesper's obviously holding inside, but Villar's got an excellent start there. He's cutting across. He's got the jump. Look, he's going to get a nudge there from Jesper, but Villar's taking the lead. Look, it's coming true what Bjorn predicted. Is Villar going to be able to hold it on the inside up Mountain Straight? I'm not sure.
Look at Keith.
Look at Keith moving his way through as well. He's getting squeezed out by Neto and Lopez. There's no way through there. And look at these. Oh, Jesper's got past Villar up the straight. He got a better exit, of course. Villar went up the inside, and he's managed to get past him on the straight already. We didn't expect a car to pass a BMW on the straight, did we, Toby?
No, not at all. But that's all about the draft and the exit, and yeah, that's what Villar's got to do back at Conrad. But yeah, Keith got shut out there by Lopez. So obviously those two working together, but he had to back out, or else he would have been on the grass there.
Absolutely, but they're all working together. All those Portuguese is surrounded by them, and he's going to have his work absolutely cut out, or sideways through there as they go through. Villar in pursuit of Jesper Torborg, and he needs to get ahead. He cannot afford Jesper to be ahead of him. He's still on his knees, Jesper, to gain 2 podium positions in this race. So even if he gets ahead of him, he needs some help from the guys behind. He needs Neto and Lopez and Gonçalves to help him out here. But the other curves, oh, so close. Neto to the wall there, almost ran into it. I've seen him be a bit erratic this season so far. Jesper's got a nice gap going towards Forest Elbow. I don't think Villar's going to be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's where Villar needed to be right on his bumper, and he's actually going to. Yeah, he's actually going to fall into the clutches of the guys behind him.
Absolutely. Now I think Jesper will gap the field. It's unlike him to make a mistake, but look at that BMW. Even in the draft, Neto can't keep up. Look at that. Down the straight they come into the chase. They're going to flow now. There is Keith Barrick in 5th position. The top 5 got a gap already on Hugo Gonçalves, so perhaps Gonçalves not going to be able to help his compatriots as much as he would hope. Nice clean lines there from Keith through the chase, just keeping a watching brief on Lopez and Neto ahead of him. Back further through the field, Bogdan's in 7th, Asbury in 8th. And there's Swiderski, he's battling with Skurlock and Solberg. And in behind is Robert Isles and the Seat Leon. He's got Kelvin van der Linde all over him. And there's Yuri Braham still back there. And not a good opening lap there for Yuri Braham. We would have hoped to move forward, and up the inside is going to go Kelvin on Robert Isles. Robert lets him go through. Oh, Kelvin still gives him a little hip and shoulders on the way through anyway, just for good measure. Back up at the front. Jesper versus Villar still. He's not pulled away too much just yet, but Villar will have to get his skates on and catch back up once again. NATO actually looks under lots of pressure from Lopez, who's under lots and lots of pressure from Barrick. So this is the battle at the moment as Lopez just nudges the wall there on the entry into the cutting. It's very, very easy to do.
Well, Barrick very close to the wall. I think if Barrick sees a gap, he will be going for it. He's got nothing really to lose and everything to gain. So
absolutely, and the peel string there. What a great shot that is. On VR and NATO up against the wall, up on the curves, pushing as hard as they can, and Lopez is slightly wide into midfield, but there's no way you can pass it unless you're absolutely fully alongside as they've gone flying into Skyline, jumping over the curves, getting it slowed down as much as they can. Keith just missed the apex there a little bit, and look, it's cost him several tenths. He's going to have to catch back up once again. And Tolbog's offline, heading into the forest elbow as well. He didn't have him too much, he managed to keep out of the wall. And look at VR and NATO, they're still glued together at the end of lap 2. This is a 40-minute race, and Lopez is pushing NATO. Look at this, Lopez is pushing NATO to get them away from Barrick. That's an interesting tactic.
Just a fair bit of bump drafting here. Are we actually watching a NASCAR race?
The Portuguese are working together. They want to get up towards Tolbog and away from Keith, of course, Bjorn.
Yeah, but I think Keith can keep up, but Diogo Lopez there, I think Keith needs to pass Diogo to get to the two Cosworth, Miguel and Francisco.
Absolutely, he's still very, very close. He's obviously driving very well. His fastest lap there for Jesper Tolbog, a 2:17.599. Still several tenths shy of the real life lap record. So it'll be interesting to see whether anybody can actually touch that. He did make a couple of mistakes on that lap. VR is still heading up NATO. I wonder if NATO's, even if he gets his opportunity, do you think he'll pass VR?
I don't think VR will let him. I can't see that happening. At the moment, these guys will be not necessarily trying to get past each other. They'll be thinking about tyres, thinking about pit stops, because it's such a long race. There's no real rush to get by. But even so, if the gap's there, they'll go for it.
And what about if VR feels, or VR and NATO feel that NATO's got a little bit more pace and they can catch up to Tolbog and put him under pressure?
Yeah, there could be that, but I still don't think VR will let NATO escape, and then NATO will get a car in between them. It'll look a bit obvious if NATO has to drop 3 or 4 positions to let VR get the extra points.
Well, there's nothing in the rules, so if it has to be done, it has to be done. But VR has gapped to NATO. It looks like NATO's actually going slower than VR rather than VR going fast, perhaps. Oh, he's so close to the wall on the exit there. Pushing as hard as he can to catch up to Jesper. Jesper's got a 1.5 second gap already, and we're only 2.5 laps in. Storming away from field, 1.6 seconds now, so of course the high tyre wear of the Honda could come into play.
It could well be that NATO's job early on is to maybe hold up Barrick and make sure that Barrick can't jump VR at the pit stops. That could be a tactic they're using.
What would you do in this situation, Bjorn? Would you think you would pit early?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, if I was Keith, I would have kept myself out of the fight. But like Toby was mentioning earlier as well, I mean, you need to get your tyres to get to work for at least 20 laps, or 20 minutes, you know. So if you make a pit stop now, yes, you will get yourself out of the fight, but you have to do a long stint on those tyres.
And once again, Tolbog with a 17.5 metronomic lap time there from Tolbog, 17.599 and 17.584. Back here, Asbury has caught up to Gonsalves and Bogdan. Put back through the pack. Now is Swiderski. He's in 10th position. He's in behind Tyler Skurlock. In behind him is Yuri Braham. So Yuri's moved up 2 positions. But not too many movers and shakers just yet. Looks like we'll have to wait for pit stops to see some good action. Van der Linde has moved back from 10th to 13th, so he's not gone forward as much as he would have liked, Toby.
No, I would have expected him to have made positions actually, but this is his first time in Server 1, so he's obviously facing a lot more competition than maybe he was before. As
Solberg runs wide.
Yeah, he's
oh, he's took contact. Oh, he gets sideways. Just held it. That was that was fraught stuff through there. Waxed the wall as well, for good measure. But he took advantage, Toby. That's what you got to do at this track.
Yeah, I mean, Sauber got it way out of shape, and Calvin was trying to get that gap almost before it was happening. He just pounced straight onto the problem there for Sauberg, and yeah, good drive from Calvin there to get the position.
And we know Sauberg is... Oh, Sauberg gets very, very out of shape through there. We know Sauberg's a very aggressive driver, so it was never going to be an easy pass, and indeed it wasn't. And now Sauberg is struggling, really. He's getting sideways all over the place, trying a little bit too hard, perhaps. He's not happy about his mistake and allowing himself to drop back one more position.
Yeah, I've said it before, and it's the worst thing you can do if you make a mistake is make another one when your head's a bit tangled. I think I said that about Keith, and he probably did exactly that.
You have experience with that yourself as well, of course, and it's very, very easy to do, isn't it? The blood pumps, and your head doesn't make the right decisions. You just brake just a little bit too late, perhaps, or put the power in just a little bit too early, and it all goes a bit more awry than it did before.
Well, put simply, you panic. You think, oh, I've just lost massive ground. What do? I drive as hard as I can. And Sauberg's managed to calm himself down now. Look.
Oh, and Van der Linde's off on the grass on the exit of Murray's corner. He's not lost too much pace, though, it doesn't seem. A little bit, of course, to Sauberg. But of course, when you've gone off the track, you don't realise, you think to yourself, drive harder. But you've already been driving very hard anyway. That's why you went off the track. So, of course, that's where the mistake ends up coming in. And now is Yuri Braham in behind Darius Swiderski, looking for the draft, looking to get through. But he's drafting the BMW, but he's not able to get past it, even in the straight line.
Yeah, the BMW, obviously the quickest car in a straight line. We saw that at KW Speedway, so there's no surprises there. But it's if you're in a BMW, you will always be slower through the mountain and always be faster down the straights. And it's just the way these cars work. It's just the differences, the benefits, and the drawbacks. And yeah, the BMW is the car to be in a battle.
Absolutely, Michael Carver's bringing up the rear at the moment. He's over 90 seconds behind, so something's happened to him. Perhaps with Eric Estes as well, he's 50 seconds behind, so unfortunate there for those two. And VR is now 2.2 seconds back from Jesper Talborg, who's improving his lap time lap after lap. 17.5, 17.5 and a 17.3. What's the gap going to be at the second split out of Forest Elbow? It's going to be 2.2 still. NATO 2.9 back, Lopez 4.4. Barrick's not making any pressure whatsoever, is he? He's not even all over the back of Lopez. It's not like even like Lopez is holding him up beyond.
I don't know. I think the field spreads a bit out in front. The first 5-6 cars are like except for Jesper then, are like 1 or 2 seconds separated. And I think Keith is going to wait until the first pit stops to if he can make a move, he's going to do it then, because I don't see him pass any car right now.
Well, Mr. Bogdan has got past Hugo Gonçalves for 6th position. We saw him look very quick in qualifying, so it's perhaps no surprise he's moved up, and he was defending there from Hugo Gonçalves into the chase. He enlightened us earlier by saying that he races naked, Toby, in nothing but his socks.
I sometimes forget to put socks on, even then, and that causes injury.
It does cause injury. We've had plenty of that unfortunate incident at Laguna Seca, the WTM. But Cara does wear socks, so say I don't wear socks when I race. I feel I get more feel from not wearing socks. So there's enlightenment for you. Ryan Callan doesn't wear socks when he's racing, and Cara does. Although
so Ryan Callan top tip: race without socks.
Exactly.
Yeah, or don't wash them.
Unless you've got really sweaty feet, or smelly feet for that matter. Actually, just don't take your shoes off. That's a bad thing. There's a guy at university who has athlete's foot, and he must have had it for about 6 months. So I don't actually think it's athlete's foot anymore. And it just stinks so bad. I just don't go around his house anymore because it's just horrendous.
I used to race in my Christmas pyjama. Well, yeah.
Christmas pyjamas.
Yeah,
are they your lucky pyjamas?
Yeah, I'm racing in my Christmas pyjama with my fake beard on.
Were you driving the safety car with your fake beard on?
Of course, mate. Of course.
And Hugo Salvas has got past Andrei Bogdan on the mountain, so that's been a great move there, and that's allowed Dan Asbury to close up to them as well. As they come out of Forest Elba, this is the big battle at the moment, as VR has actually gained on Torborg by 1/10 of a second on that lap.
I think Torborg's used his tyres up too quickly, too early. We've seen him put several fast laps in. This latest lap's, what, 4/10 slower than his fastest lap. I think he's used up his tyres quite quickly, and he might drop back into the clutches of Francisco.
Oh, and Carras very late to the break. That gives the back of the Leon a bit of a nudge into the corner, but no harm done. And catching up to this group is Braham and Skurlock. Swiderski having been passed by Braham. Now Swiderski is nowhere to be found at the moment. Wonder if he's pitted in. Into the pits comes Emil Solberg. So through goes Van der Linde, the person he's been having a battle with. Into the pits comes Emil. Of course, an almost race winner at Laguna Seca, but he did get second place, so that was still a great result. Check through the standings to see whether Swiderski did he did pit, but he's actually out of the race. So I'm not sure what happened to Darius Swiderski. Hopefully he'll be back for race 2. But it looks like as well that the guys are doing 4 tyres, look, because that's a longer stationary time than normal.
Yeah, it makes sense on a race this length. We're sort of just coming up to halfway in terms of time, and we'll see most of the guys pit next lap, or the lap after, and that'll be that, and they'll all put on 4 tyres, I should think. I don't think anyone will be brave enough to risk 2 tyres when tyre wear is greater than they've been used to.
Absolutely, I don't think so. I don't think so as well. Reggie Blaine looks like he's gained a little bit on Emil Solberg in those pits. He's pitted very early, actually, on lap 7. Lap 6, actually, I guess it is, before you actually cross the line. Let's go back to the head of the field. And Jesper is still leading it. It's 2.6 seconds now, but he did do a very, very slow lap on that lap, and VR must have done an even slower lap, Toby, because look at that, 2:18.4, which is over a second off his fastest lap, but VR still lost ground.
Yeah. Ryan, you might want to have a look at positions 8, 9, 10. There's a big fight developing there. Yuri gaining on the drivers in front of him, and it's looking good there. Top 10, top 8, 9.
Well, there is Yuri. We saw him a second ago gaining on Tyler Skurlock, and he's pushing him down the straights almost into the chase. The Toledo is very quick in the straight line as well this season. The Honda's been one of the slowest in the straight line, so I think Yuri's finding it quite difficult to pass drivers, but he's up to 10th position. And he's the first of the front runners to come into the pit, so Yuri pits. So he's obviously confident in his pace. In comes Van der Linde as well. Van der Linde's made that mistake. Oh, he almost ran into the gravel there, and it's very difficult to get out of the gravel here if you do go into it. As we were talking about earlier, it's very, very easy to make that mistake into the hairpin. Oh, Barrick's in as well, actually, look. So he's gone for the trying to switch back.
That might make it work for Barrick, actually. I mean, this is the... Oh, look at that. Is that Braham doing just 2 tyres there, do you think?
It must be, because he's come up way ahead of Keith Barrick, unless Keith Barrick had a problem himself. We'll see when it all shakes out properly, and now Abdul Ahmed has passed Keith Barrick. Down they come. I'm not sure if Abdul has pitted. If he did, only 2 tyres, and he's kind of gone over to the inside and letting Keith go through, knowing he's no threat really on the overall race. But it looks like Braham did do 2 tyres. Did we expect that at all?
I certainly didn't, and he's a very brave man. If he can make that work, then good on him. But he's got a big gap to Keith, but I think he'll drop back into his clutches fairly rapidly.
He's got a very big gap to Keith, because he wasn't exactly close to Keith in the before the pit stop, and now he's way ahead of him. So I wonder if Keith had a problem in his pit stop. We'll find out when the leaders pit also as well. And we're joined at the moment by Darius Swiderski. What happened to you, Darius?
Hello Ryan, hello guys. Yeah, stupid mistake. nothing I could do. Just got a tank slapper and into the wall and engine dead. So that's my race.
Where about, Darius?
At the chase, just before the dipper. Just got there.
Oh, in the S's, yeah.
Yeah, in the S's. But
Yeah.
I was having fun till that. I was having great fun, and I'll be back in race 2, and I'll be definitely pushing and having lots of fun on the way.
Well, that's unfortunate for you there, Darius. We wish you the best in the second race. The leaders are pitting now, so Torbog's into the pits, and so is NATO and Via. Via's already stopped, but of course he's further down the pit lane. Off goes Via. And NATO leaves as well, so they've both done the same strategy, of course. And it looks like, look at this. This is a strategy car being played out right here. VR and NATO have gone for 2 tyres. Look at this. Torborg has gone for all 4. Which kind of makes sense, I guess, guys, if you think about it, because they weren't closing on Torborg, and they needed to do something to get ahead of him.
Yeah, I really surprised me though. But the big thing about this, look at the gap Talbot's got to Barrick. I think you're right about him in the pit stops. I think Barrick must have made a mistake, or the team did, and he's dropped right down.
Of course, he might have forgotten to request the pits, or perhaps he ran into the gravel, which we saw Van der Linde almost do. So he's definitely made a mistake somewhere, because he lost just a little bit too much time, didn't he? But what do you think to that strategy play there, Bjorn? VR and NATO look like they've gone for 2 tyres.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to pay off? Because they've got quite a big gap, to be fair, but they've now got 10 laps to hold him off.
True. What I think what is going to happen is that what the 2 Portuguese drivers is wanting, that the 2 cars of both of them will get in front of Jesper, and now probably Miguel is going to drop himself back to just hold up the Danish driver Jesper, and you know that's it. And
no,
just,
that could work. I mean, yeah, Toby, think about that.
Why not?
It could really work. You're a genius, Bjorn. You're a genius, an evil genius.
We are. Thank you very much.
He's
making a valid point, though, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, no.
Because Torbog's in behind NATO and VR, but Torborg only needs 3rd position, 2/3 anyway. So I don't see him pushing too hard for it.
Yeah, but look at this. Imagine Miguel Nieto is gonna hold up Jesper, and Keith, Yuri, all the guys can get closer. Jesper could end up in a big fight.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. With Yuri took 2 tyres, so I don't think he'll be a massive threat to Jesper. But certainly Keith, if NATO is backing Jesper right into Keith, then we could see a big fight in our hands like last couple of laps of the race. But yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen this one at all coming, but we've just got to see if Via can make his tyres work, because that P&W is notoriously bad on rear tyre wear. I wonder if he took rears.
Would have thought so, but now Danbury pits from the lead, and through comes VR, NATO and Torborg. So we'll see what the gap is at the end of Sector 1. Which is just around the top of the mountain at Solomon Park. Yuri Braham is in 5th. Karamadaro is in 4th position. I'm not sure. I think he must have taken. Curious. No, I think. But perhaps Yuri did take all 4 tyres, Toby, because we're ascertaining that perhaps Toby had a problem in the pits.
Keith, you mean? But yes,
Keith, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it could be, but I don't think it did look very suspicious how Yuri gained so much time on Keith. I don't think Keith would have lost. If you look at the gap between Keith and Jesper, it's only 10 seconds. Before pit stops, it was only about 6. I think Yuri made up more than 4 seconds in the pit stops. I think Yuri is on 2 tyres.
I have to agree with you actually now thinking about it, because Kara was a little bit further ahead of Yuri, of course, before the pit stop. So remains to be seen what Kara can do, but he's in an excellent 4th position. Torborg is already gaining on VR and NATO, as to be expected.
Keith will make a ridiculous move here on Yuri. He'll have seen Yuri get ahead of him in the pit stops and take 2 tyres, and he'll want to get by as quick as possible. So be prepared for some fireworks.
We don't all think like Toby Davis or Russell Ingall.
I wonder.
Here is Torborg. Look at that. He has the eyes on Miguel Nato. So this will be interesting. Can Torborg get past Nato? But can Nato hold him off? This is excellent team play, really. Though it is a strategy genius if it works out.
Talbot has got the extra pace though and the extra tyres, so
absolutely, he's gaining hand over fist. Look at this, fastest lap of the race as well. 17.223.
Yeah.
So he's right there. It wasn't a slow lap from VR. He only lost about a half a second, so it wasn't that bad. Ahead of these guys, it looked like Michael Carver has come out of the pits and he's been lapped by the leader, so he's obviously been in strife somewhere. And Barrick has got past Yuri Braham, so he's taking 5th position. He's now in pursuit of Mr. Bogdan.
Karamadaro isn't really in this fight, so...
No, he's not, but Karamadaro has also gapped Hugo Gonçalves, look, because they were locked together, and now Hugo's a few seconds back, so I wonder if Kara took 2 tyres also.
To get ahead of Keith, I think he must have done. I don't think this strategy will be as quick. It's all about track position, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like we're at Laguna. There are places to overtake here at Bathurst, so.
And plenty of places to make mistakes as well.
Yeah, and with more tyre wear, it's easier to do that.
Yeah, with longer races, of course. And Barrick is right up on Karamadaro. He's right on the back of him through Sulman Park. They go. Through Repark, sorry, and then into McPhillamy. And down towards Brock Skyline.
Oh no, Keith.
Oh, don't do that there. We've seen that end in tears many times in the races in the Bathurst 1000s here. And it always creates a pilot because the person inside goes up the inside, clips the other guy, and they of course go naturally towards the tyre wall and get stuck in the middle of the track, and everyone piles in.
There's just no way through there,
No.
unless you're absolutely alongside and the other person knows you're there and gives you the position. There's no way through.
Absolutely, right. And Torborg's got past Nato. There is Torborg. He's got past Nato on the run out of Conrad Straight, and Nato's supposed tactic, I guess, of what he was probably intending to do, has not worked in the slightest. And this is working out beautifully for Torborg because he's gaining a second lap on VR. Torborg 17.2 last time around, VR an 18.2.
I think we're in for a good fight the last laps. Are we going to see another Toby Davis Calvin van der Linde fight? Something like on Laguna Seca with the WTM?
Well, that will be excellent. And it will be for the championship as well, which makes it even more exciting. Torborg is gaining hand over fist still on Francisco VR.
Keith has got past Bogdan now, so he's just going to be gaining on Nato, I think, hand over fist with his newer tyres.
I apologise for everyone for missing every single overtake so far. Every time I look away at one battle, someone overtakes in another. Now Hugo Gonçalves and Diogo Lopez drafted each other, and they're good friends, but Lopez is not giving Gonçalves any room whatsoever down the straight. Pushes him along, then goes up the inside into Griffin's Bend. And Lopez has taken the position away from Gonçalves.
That makes sense. Lopez has been the faster of the two all weekend so far, so if anything, Gonçalves can now push him along, and they'll both go quicker than they would have done with Hugo ahead.
I would expect both of these drivers to catch up and pass Yuri Braham also as well. But Braham's got himself up into that top 8, hasn't he? So 9th position is Tyler Skurlock, and he's quite a way back, so this could work out well in terms of overall positions for Yuri, because he was in 11th before the pit stops. 10th position, sorry, because Darius Swiderski had gone off the track, and as Tyler Skurlock is pushing very, very hard through Sulman Park. So he needs to be in that 8th position to get that the pole position for the second race, just get a good result in the second race, and of course defend his championship. But he's catching up to Bogdan as well, of course, so I wonder if Bogdan did take 2 tyres, because he's caught right up to the Romanian driver. There's a big gap now to Keith. He's in 4th position. It looks like that's the only position he will be able to make. I don't think even though Nato's taken 2 tyres, he will be able to make up 8 seconds.
Well, I mean, how many laps do you think we've got left? 2 or 3?
There's a maximum of 20 laps apparently. Maximum 17 laps, sorry. So that will be 3 or 4 perhaps. So we're going to get 8 seconds.
Yeah.
8 seconds at a time. It's not going to happen. I don't think, really, is it? Of course, NATO starts to make mistakes on that higher tyre wear. Fastest lap of the race, Jesper Torborg, 17.0. And I'm afraid VR is in for a nasty surprise in a lap or two. This
I
is
think...
Jesper's, yeah. 1.4 seconds he gained on that lap.
Via will be defenceless. I think Jesper's gaining on him so fast now. He might even get right up to him on the mountain, and even with that BMW, I don't think Via will be able to defend.
Of course, so once VR gets out in front, Bjorn, you can't pass him. We saw that in several races so far this season. If he gets out in the lead, he never loses the race.
Yeah, but why? I mean, why does Jesper even want to get a win here? I mean, a win is always nice, but if he just stays in second position, I don't see the point. I mean, it's for the championship. I don't think Jesper is going to take all the risk.
He'll be so much faster, though. He's gaining over a second a lap. I don't think he'll have much choice but to pass, because he's ramming into the back of VR. To be honest, he's got so much more pace. And this gamble looks like it's not going to pay off for VR in the slightest. And it's going to gain Torborg 101 points if he can get past. And he just needs 75 more.
I'm watching the gap between Keith and Miguel, and it's come down already by a second this lap. I think Keith could catch Miguel. I think he could get onto the podium.
Indeed, you're right.
Braham's got past Caramidaro, so I think Caramidaro did take 2 tyres also as well. He's sideways out of Roy's elbow. Lopez and Gonçalves are gaining now as well. Gonçalves ran very wide into the barriers there. Skrillex just in the background. So it looks like Braham has his 2 tyres. Well, perhaps he did only take 4 tyres because he's looked very, very quick, hasn't he? Very interesting. We'll have to ask him after the race if we could get a chance to chat with him. But Jesper Torborg has a gap now down to probably less than a second, I would say. Looking from that, well, it's 1.5. It's actually lost some time through that final sector. But VR is so consistent. Look at that, 18.4 lap after lap. 18.2, 18.2, 18.4, 18.4. Even with those worn tyres, he's still keeping a great pace, isn't he?
Yeah, he's banging those lap times, and yeah, he might have Jesper covered. I'll change my supposition there. He might have Jesper covered. We'll see later on. The worn tyres drop away a lot. They sort of fall off a cliff. So Via might be able to maintain those times right now, but mistakes will creep in, I should think.
Absolutely. Thank you for your analysis there, Toby, on the fence, Davis.
Well, I mean, Via might be able to maintain these lap times because I'm gonna defend myself. He's taken rear tyres, probably taken rear tyres, so his car will now have a more understeer balance, and it's a lot more difficult to make a mistake like Bogdan's demonstrating very well.
Absolutely. Oh, look, side by side, gonna go into the tree, through there. They go sideways into the wall. They both go, but Lopez makes his way through anyway. I don't know why Bogdan was quite defending so hard there, because he's never going to stay ahead of Lopez throughout the next 2 or 3 laps. Just got out of the throttle and let the faster driver go through, because there's not much point going to get you anyway. It ended in a big accident for both of them, but of course, I suppose he is fighting for 8th position here, because he's needing to keep ahead of Hugo and Salvez. That's not the disaster that if he loses the place to Hugo. But if he loses the place to Skurlock, who's not far back at all, there he is. Then he'll be outside the top 8, and of course not be able to be at the pointy end of the race for race 2. And now Jesper Torborg is very close indeed to Francisco Villa.
But Francisco's is going to win, because I said so. Francisco's going to win the first race, and Jesper is going to be the champion. I think finally my predictions can come true.
Down to the line they come. VR versus Torborg, as it has been all season. They've not met that much on track though, really. They've not battled on track so much. It's been very, very much Barrick versus VR most of the time, with Torborg kind of skating away in the distance, or keeping watch and breathe and taking opportunities. They've not actually come together too much this season, have they? Torborg has the run on VR down the straight, got a great exit there from Morris corners. There's a slower car up ahead. Looks like Eric Estes, and Via's looking to draft the slower car just to give himself an extra half a mile an hour speed as they go up into Griffin's Bend. Will Torborg be able to make a move through? So around the outside, can he make it stick off camber? Around the outside he's going to go. What a great move there from Jesper, from the Dane. He's a championship leader, and that was a championship winning manoeuvre, I think. Oh, he's hit the wall as well. Not try to jinx him too much there, Callan.
No, I think an excellent move there from Jesper, but it was inevitable. It was coming. Via did an 18.8 on that lap, and his tyres have gone. I mean, he's losing half a second every lap, more than he was the lap before. And Barrick is closing on NATO. That gap's down to like 4 seconds now. So
depend how much time they've got left.
Well, there'll be at least one more lap. Maybe not. I don't know. If this is the last lap, then Barrick won't catch him. If there's one more lap, then I think he will.
Yeah, 40 seconds to go in this lap, so it's going to be tight.
Not going to make it, I don't think, because Torborg's just coming out. Oh, it's going to be very tight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm just watching the timer.
So 40 seconds to go. Has Torborg made his move on the last lap? Whatever the chance, he's pretty much got this race sewn up, because it looks like 1.3 second gap already, with NATO in third. It's not paid off for VR. He's not actually overall lost that much time with the two tyre stop, though, had he, Toby? Because he was behind Torborg by 2 seconds anyway.
It was worth a gamble. If NATO could have held up Jesper, and this is the last lap, then VR potentially would have won.
Across the line he comes, and Jesper Torborg takes one step closer. He's got one hand on the trophy. It's another step closer to his maiden race department championship, his maiden ATCC title for season 3. Francisco VR takes second place. Miguel NATO third. Keith Barrick a battling fourth. But again, it's another top 5 position there for Keith Barrick. He's had more than anybody else this season so far. Yuri Braham fifth. That was a great result there from him. He made it from 13th on the grid, so to get back to 5th place was a great bonus. 6th place Yogo Lopez, 7th Bogdan, 8th Gonsalves, 9th Tyler Skurlock, 10th was Robert Isles, 11th Dan Asprey. So he dropped back through the field just a little bit. But good result there for Robert Isles. He made his way back through the field. Kevin van der Linde didn't make any much progress at all, really. He actually moved down 2 spaces from his starting position. Matthias Klein took 13th, moved up 3 positions from 16th. Emil Solberg, who pitted very early, took 14th with 15th Paul Wood. 16th was Reece Gardner, and 17th was Pedro Amaral. With Alessio Lucchesi going across the line in 18th. Here's Abdul Ahmed goes crossing the line. He's going to take 19th position. Full field 25 drivers here today. Ethan Bass is in 20th. Looks like Reggie Blaine's going to make his way through 21st. He won't be happy with that at all. That's not what he would have been looking for. Through he comes. Not really had the season he's been looking for, Reggie, this season so far. Still to come round is Daniel Wood onto the grass on the exit. Finishes with a flourish. And 23rd was Michael Carver, a lap down. 23rd, sorry, was Eric Estes, a lap down. And 24th was Michael Carver, a lap down. Of course, we had one DNF, that's Doris Swiderski, but that puts Torborg even further ahead in the championship. I'll give you an update in the race. What did you think of that race, guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was tactically different to what I was expecting. I didn't expect those guys with 2 tyres to do so well. I mean, it did work out for it did almost work out, I should say, for Via, but very tight at the end. And if NATO had held up Talberg just a little bit more, then Talberg wouldn't have taken the win, I don't think. I mean, Talberg was definitely the quickest guy out there by some distance today, and he'll be very happy with a win. And yeah, I think the championship is now pretty much sewn up for him.
Well, we'll give you an update as soon as we get the results, and when the game rolls round towards race 2.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to getting back in that safety car again, Bjorn?
Well, this race I'm not going back into the safety car, my friend. It's going to be a standing start. So
That will be
Maybe I can
interesting
pull
because
out. Maybe
Yeah,
I can pull out after lap 5, you know, and just do a WTCC safety car crash or something like that.
Please no, Bjorn, please no. So we're going into the second race now. Of course, it's a very tight grid again, isn't it, Toby? I mean, it's cars either side. It's a very staggered start as well, very narrow grid. Some cars are almost on the grass. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with the cars so close together, man.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. If a car has a slow start and you're looking for a gap that isn't there, I think the BMW won't have so much of an advantage. I mean, you can see here, look how tight they are together. Then there's not even a full grid up there yet.
Exactly. Look at the field. That's how close the tight grid is. So we've got Hugo Gonçalves on pole position for this race, with Bogdan second, alongside him. Jogo Lopez in third, Yuri Braham fourth, Barrick fifth, NATO sixth, VR and Tolborg round out the fourth row.
I don't think the two tyre strategy will work so well in race 2. There's remember with the 4 minutes of safety car parade lap, which was excellently executed by Bjorn, by the way.
Thank you very much.
but without that, there will be at least 1 or 2 extra laps, and I think the tyres won't last quite so well as they did. So 4 tyres will be the norm.
And they're off away on the start of the race. And through goes Yuri Braham with a fantastic start. And VR is on the outside. Yuri Braham threaded the needle there. And through goes Hugo Gonçalves into third. It's 4 wide on the exit. Coming out of the corner, Karim Madaro, Bogdan has taken second position with Braham up ahead. And VR has been shuffled right back to 5th once again. And back in the pack is Jesper Tolborg. He's back in 10th position. So the field now strains towards Griffin's Bend. Anything could happen here. A big accident for Jesper Tolborg and throw the championship right back into the hands of VR. And through they go now. Yuri Braham leading out of Griffin's Bend. Cars wiggling out of there. 2 Hondas leading. 2 Seats in behind. BMW, a Peugeot, and a Volvo and a BMW. But a fantastic start there from Yuri Braham. Really threaded the needle, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. It was. Yeah, that was a great start, and VR on the outside using the grass as well to his advantage, and Braham's just gapping the field. Look, Bogdan holding up maybe in 2nd place, but Barrick's up there in 6th as well. But a poor start for Tolborg.
Just look at the gap Yuri is creating.
Yeah, that's a huge gap. Back to
unbelievable.
Bogdan. Oh, look at this, these guys charging. Oh, big mistake there from Hugo Gonçalves. Just managed to hold it up in the gravel. Oh, a tap from Barrick, for Barrick on from NATO. I can't even say my words fast enough.
Being surrounded again by the Portuguese drivers, so he'll have to make his way through as quickly as he can on VR, but he's right behind him, look, in the slipstream.
As they come down the straight, it's Hugo Gonçalves who's now tracking Karim Madaro, who's dropped a position to Jogo Lopez, who's made a mistake somewhere. Oh, Jogo Lopez just taking advantage anyway. Through into the chase they go, streaming in here. Full chat. Kara's run wide, and so has Jogo Lopez. Where's Jogo Lopez? He ran wide onto the grass. He's rejoined. We can lose a position to his teammate Gonçalves. And there's Bogdan dropping back through the grass.
NATO!
NATO! Oh, he's hit him! NATO's hit on the grass. And they're both off. They're both sliding towards the gravel. Can they get out of the gravel? They can just about. And that's disaster there for NATO's hopes of catching Yuri Braham in the championship. Looks like Yuri's got that sorted out now. 3 wide into here. Van der Linde, Tyler Skurlock, Emil Solberg. And up ahead is Dan Asbury. These guys are fighting tooth and nail. Look, Robert Alves is in there also.
Tell you who benefited from all of that, and that's Jesper Tolborg. He's behind Keith Barrett now, and he's up to 6th place because of all that. And Via as well is down well, I should say up to 4th. So we've got the 3 contenders, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So those 3 all close together now.
Well, as a Dutchman, I'm really happy Yuri is in the lead. So I really hope he can win it.
Yeah, I mean, Villa up in 4th. He's right behind Lopez, so Lopez will be looking to defend from him. But yeah, I can see Keith trying to pressurise Villa as much as he can early on, try and get Villa to make a mistake. Keith needs to get by him for the championship. And Salberg's right up behind Dan Asbury now as well. Sorry, Salberg defending there from Van der Linde, that looks like. Through the dipper. Yeah, look at Barrick right behind Villa. He's going to try and... There's no way around the outside there for Keith Barrick, but he's coming on to Conrad now. And he's right up there in the draft of Villa. I wonder if he's going to make a move coming into the chase this time round. See, even in the draft, Villa is still holding on, but Keith and Villa's gone defensive, but Keith, yeah, there's no way through there for Barrick. What do you think, Bjorn? Do you think? Oh, and it looks like Gonçalves has made a mistake, and they're both going to get through.
Come again, Toby. You asked me something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you think Keith will make a move now or wait for the pit stops?
Hard to tell. Depends, because he's at this moment he has to defend. He has to defend from the back as well. I think whenever there's a small gap, he's going to try. He's got nothing to lose. You know, that's it.
He does have nothing to lose. He's still he'll have dropped back further from Villa and Talberg in the championship, so he'll be looking to pressurise those two as much as he can. And Talberg is gaining on Gonçalves, with Lopez still in P2, but Yuri has gapped the field, as you were saying, Bjorn, and it looks very strong for race 2. It looks like your predictions are almost going to be bang on.
Yeah, I mean, I just missed out on race 1. Wish I was a lap shorter, but you know, if Yuri can win it, I'm pretty close to the predictions, I would say.
He does like being right, does that, Mr. Bjorn?
Indeed,
So
my
at the front of the field, Yuri has a massive gap. So this race is his to lose. He's on a 17.6 as well. So his speed is not shoddy in the slightest. Lopez has been pursued by Villa. Do you reckon that Villa will be let through by Lopez to help his championship hopes, just in case a problem crops up for Talborg?
Me personally, I don't think so. I think Lopez will be searching for a race win actually now that he's so far up the field. It's a bit of an unusual position for Lopez, and yeah, I think he will now be defending from Villa. I think with Talberg's race 1 victory, I don't think Talberg down in P6, I believe he can still win the championship if the positions stay as they are. So Lopez doesn't need to do that so early on yet.
Yeah, I'm just about to process the results, so hopefully we can get those results up for you guys.
I do think we're gonna get a team model, something like Diogo, Francisco is quicker than you. You copy, mate.
We're seeing it. Maybe seeing it now. Maybe seeing it now.
Yeah, he's off.
And off goes Lopez. He's made that mistake twice now in this race, and his teammate Hugo Gonçalves has gone off there as well, and that's let Barrick through into 3rd. I wonder if these guys will defend very hard indeed from Talborg. They should really, to be fair. Of course,
yeah, I wonder if that's...
It's nice to be sporting, but Talborg's got past Gonçalves already, so I wonder if they're going to sandwich on purpose, look.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a tactical mistake. I don't really want to accuse him of that, but I wonder if it was.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. If Talborg just holds a position, he's not going to he's going to win the championship anyway. So there's not much point of him pushing too hard.
Yeah, Calvin's dropped back from Salberg. Oh look, yeah, Talberg's going to be attacked by Gonçalves. This is really holding up Jesper and allowing Keith and Villa to get way ahead of him.
It is indeed. I don't think he'd be too worried, but he might be a little bit worried being sandwiched between the 2 Portuguese drivers, considering he's fighting a Portuguese driver for the championship. I know I would be a little bit tense. Of course, flying through here, sandwiched between 2 cars, is never comfortable, is it?
Absolutely not, and Talbot can't really afford to have a DNF here. He hasn't got a drop score left, I don't think.
He's only, yeah, he'll then score 13th. Oh, off goes. Oh, it's a big accident. Look at that.
Oh, big crash, big
Off
crash.
the track goes Hugo Gonçalves. That's a huge accident there. Jesper Talbot going into the back of Diogo Lopez through McPhillamy. That pushed him, Hugo Gonçalves, Diogo Lopez across in front of Hugo. Hugo flipped the car over the barrier. Now, that is the twist that might decide the championship, because that might go to appeal. We might see this championship go to an appeal after the race.
We might well do. Talbot definitely got into the back there of Lopez, and yeah, I mean a huge incident, and Gonçalves will not finish this race. He's the wrong side of the barrier now.
No chance to get back on.
No chance.
And, there's a problem there for Diogo Lopez. What's happening here? He's dropping back through the field. Has he got a problem after that big tap? Because it was a big accident. High speed as well. We've talked about it before. It's so high speed in this track. If there is a big mistake, if there's a mistake, you are punished so badly. Swiderski found out. He made a small mistake coming down the S's and hit the wall, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't think it was a problem. I saw his brake lights on down Conrad, so I can't really fathom why he would have his brake lights on. I wonder if he was. I wonder,
isn't he?
Yeah, I wonder if he was dropping back in an attempt to avoid a penalty there, with Hugo flipping over the barrier. I wonder if Diogo felt that maybe that was his mistake.
Oh, I'm not quite sure. Maybe he just had a malfunction with his, because it certainly wasn't his fault. Unless, of course, he ran wide into the gravel, which is still not his fault, because, of course, everyone makes mistakes when we ride into the gravel. So if he ran wide and Jesper caught the back of him, but this is not really what we wanted to see. We wanted to see a clean battle for the championship and be decided here tonight without any appeals. But it could go to an appeal, so we'll have to wait and see.
I just don't hope it's going to be decided at the green table. That's one thing the championship doesn't deserve.
Absolutely not. It would be a big shame.
Villar is catching Braham, by the way, relatively quickly now. He's gained half a second on this lap, and Barrick also closing up on Villar. So I wonder if Yuri, his early pace, I wonder if he has rinsed his tyres early on. But yeah, these two certainly gaining on Yuri at this stage of the race.
Indeed they are. Hopefully he can keep his tyres together, of course. It would be nice.
Be interesting to see his lap time. He's done a 17.8 the lap before. I wonder what he can do this lap.
It's still got good pace, wasn't it? Because I mean, it was a few tenths off, of course, what Jesper was performing. It was mid-17s at this stage of the race, but 17.8 is nothing to be sniffed at all. It's going to be a big gap for Theo and Barrett to catch up, isn't it?
Yeah, just a big gap. Just I really hope Yuri can hold this. I mean, it's 3.5 seconds in the lead now, and I just hope he can maintain the gap. It's all going to depend on the tyres and the pit stop.
Absolutely. I wonder if anybody will take two tyres this time around again.
I don't think so.
It almost worked out for VR, because he actually didn't lose or gain anything in the end. It was the same gap that he had to Torborg at the end of the race as he did before the pit stop. So I think it's worth a go, perhaps.
But then again, you're losing so much time with only two tyres, and like Toby was mentioning, in race 1 you had a formation lap, so you already gained 4 minutes on the total race time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, there will be an extra 1, maybe 2 laps in this race, so yeah, I think we saw Via dropping off very quickly at the end of race 1, and I think that might be the same, but exacerbated in race 2.
Well, I can tell you the championship standings at the moment. Jesper Torborg has a 26-point gap over Francisco Villar. If Villar wins, he gets 101 points. That means that Jesper has to score 76 to be assured of the title.
So he needs a seventh place then.
He needs a 7th place, and he's currently in 4th, so he's definitely on track for the title. Dansbury flies through the Dipper. If VR stays in 7th, he'll gain 95 points, which means that Jesper only needs 72, which means he only needs 8th place. So
yeah, he's in a strong position, is Jesper, in 4th.
9th place, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's in a strong position. I don't think Keith can do anything, barring Veer and Telberg making a big error. But I mean, it can happen. We've seen Hugo flip over the barrier, so yeah, exactly, I mean, anything can happen.
And Barrick is 60 points back, so he needs a 60-point swing somewhere or another. I don't think it can happen because Jesper's worst result was a 13th. So should he drop score lower than that, pick up those 65 points anyway, so I think Barrick actually mathematically doesn't have any chance at all of winning the championship.
If Barrick wins, and yeah, 13th is 62 points, so yeah, I think you're right. I think Barrick is now out of contention. I wonder if he knows that.
I think he would have known that before the race, really, to be honest. He needed a miracle anyway, I think, with the 39-point swing and 2 of the drivers ahead of him. 39-point swing and 1 driver ahead of you is feasible, but with 2 drivers ahead, needing 2 people to make mistakes is even more difficult. And with his 4th place and Jesper winning and VR finishing 2nd, then I'm sure he knew it was all over, really. If it's not mathematically.
He used to be realistic at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I mean, he needs 2 drivers to make a mistake. But we'll follow the moment. It's very entertaining battle between Solberg, Matthias Klein, and Tyler Skurlock. Solberg has done very, very well indeed, hasn't he? He's made his way 13th, from 13th on the grid to 6th. He must have made his way through all that carnage on lap 2 between Lopez, Gonçalves, and Bogdan has dropped back through the field as well. Of course, a few people have pitted, so we'll see where they stand on corrected order. But Solberg is definitely right up there. I feel they're a lot closer than they were in race 1. Watch Reece Gardner and Abdul Ahmed flow through the top of the mountain. Over the top now, and Reece gives the wall of clouds. It's amazing how many times they give that wall of clouds here, still even in these low-powered cars, Toby.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pushing the limit of the cars every lap, and the car's nature will be changing because of the tyres. So it's if you're right on the limit the lap before, that same line, that same speed that you've taken the lap before, won't necessarily apply, and yeah, it's very easy to, especially with the fact that you've got to string corners together in the S's particularly. If you make a mistake in one, it'll put you out of shape for another, and then it's far too easy to hit the barrier.
Oh, I thought Skurlock was going to make a move around the outside of Klein into the chase there, and then go with the inside. Because he was going to, but decided better of it. Any of the front runners going to pit this time around? No, they're not. And Solberg is into the pits, as is Tyler Skurlock, so they're going to pit. They're the first of the front runners. Swiderski has moved his way up through the field well, hasn't he? He started way back at the back of the grid, of course, after his race 1 shunt. Started 25th and last, so he's into the pits, into 10th already. Van der Linde is still 11th, so he's still in midfield. There's Reggie Blaine in 12th. He goes through. Van der Linde has pitted.
Still quite early for pit stops. I would expect most of the drivers to wait maybe another lap. Yeah, well, actually saying that, it's the benefit of the new tyres here is a lot greater than we've seen before in the season because of the extra length of the race.
Yeah.
The earlier pit stop will gain you a lot of time, so a few drivers using that particular strategy.
We've lost 2 drivers from the race, actually, from race 1, who didn't start this race, so I wonder who those guys are. Can't quite see at the moment who they are. Look, front VR is gaining on Braham. Down to 2.4 now, that gap. VR looking for another race win this season. He had many of them already.
Barrick's made a mistake or two. He's dropping away from Francisco and into the clutches of Jesper, who is lapping very quickly still. Yuri 18.7 that lap, and will be going slower even now on this lap. So yeah, definitely falling into the clutches of Via.
Absolutely he is, and in the championship as well, Braham needs to stay. He is very pleased, of course, with Miguel Nato's misfortune, because he only had a 3-point gap on Nato for that battle for 4th position in the championship before this race. So him starting on him getting a great start, and Nato having troubles with Bogdan has really helped him along a great deal. So he'll be pleased with that. Graham's going to be coming down to the line now, and oh, look at that! It looks like the gap is a lot shorter than 2.6 seconds, doesn't it? Looks like Graham perhaps made a mistake in the chase. That looks like 1.5 to me.
It's 1.9. It's two.
Yeah, 2 seconds. So yeah, he had lost 6/10 in that final sector. That's quite a lot, and this final sector is the shortest of all the sectors on this track. Perhaps a small mistake there from Graham, perhaps onto Congo Trait, or perhaps even going through the chase. I mean, I never go off the track in a V8 supercar here, honest.
Yeah, but you're just a superstar driver.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Braun. I like you.
Was that before or after you got your wheel?
Before.
Yeah.
Hey, you try laying down 620 brake horsepower with your index finger.
Well, Zanardi,
that easy.
Alex Zanardi manages to do it pretty well. Well, he used to in the WTCC, I should say. Well, look at this, Talbot right up on Barrick.
Absolutely, and Talbot's giving him plenty of room. He's not actually really pushing to go through. I think if that was earlier in the season, I think he would have actually tried to go around the outside there. But he didn't do so, and they flew through Summer Park and Reed Park, through to McPhillamy.
We've said it before in the season, Talbot has always got his thinking head on, and there's no way he's going to make a stupid move on Keith here and risk the championship at this point.
Absolutely, I'd have to agree. So far this season, Jesper Talbot has taken 6 wins. So if VR wins the race and they tie on points, that would be very interesting indeed. But they'll both be on 6 wins, and they'll both have the same amount of points. So that would go back on countback, and I think VR might even win on countback. But it's still all to play for. But Talbot is up in 4th position, so it's not too much of a quandary at the moment. Let's head down to Water Chase, screaming past the camera.
I'm trying to search the regulations.
You just had a small off in the gravel.
As we thought, he is struggling at the chase, and VR is going one longer this time than they did last time around. So Brayan pits, into the pits looks like Keith's coming, and Talbot is following him in. I mean, an example of Talbot's thinking cap, of course, this season was KW Super Speedway. He was leading the race, but before the pit stops, he decided to drop back to 3rd place, just so because it's so difficult, of course, breaking from the oval into the pits. Just to use the drivers ahead as a brake marker. That's how intelligent he's been this season.
Absolutely, and there was no need for, if he knew he was pitting as well, there was also no need for him to make a move on Barrick. He wouldn't have gained a great deal from doing so. Braham's had a good stop.
He has indeed. We've been on 2 tyres again, because there's Talbot still poofing out.
Well,
the gap is between. Oh! Look at that! Almost contact in the pits. As Talbot tries to get the barrel on, he jumps over the curb. He's actually pushing very hard indeed, isn't he? And Swiderski's just behind this group. I think Swiderski, he was in 10th position before. He must have taken 2 tyres, look, because he's gained a huge amount of ground on these 2.
He also pitted very early on. We saw him pit on, I think it was lap 7. So those new tyres will have allowed him to catch up. But yeah, I think 2 tyres. I think there's a good shot, Ryan. I think he has used the two tyres strategy.
Here's this battle group still together. Asbury, Skurlock and Solberg. With Skurlock getting the better of Solberg eventually. Seen plenty of action from him in this race so far. Asbury running wide there at the cutting. Through here under what is simply called the tree. Even though there is no actual defining tree there, it's called the tree. Drivers just call it that, I'm not quite sure why. Perhaps I should phone Craig Lowndes.
Wasn't it something to do with shadows? I was reading up.
Oh, maybe it's called the shadow. why call it the tree?
Well, no,
shadows.
because it cast a shadow of the tree on the track. I think that was why it was called that.
Well, perhaps if we got a corner called Shadows, then we would have a corner called Cliff Richard as well, which is not called for, really, is it at all? I think it was probably a sensible decision then.
absolutely. Via in the pits. I'll be interested to see if he's made that work. The gap's come down a little bit between him and Braham, so he's got to get ahead of Braham, really.
He has, absolutely. And Braham did a 220.8 on the lap that he pitted, and Via did a 219.9, which includes the pit-in time a little bit, because the cut-off line is very close to the pit entry. So he definitely gained about a second. So let's catch up with you, Braham. Here he is now, going down the straight, and VR is still in first position. There he is coming out of the pits. Oh, he's going to pass him easily. I wonder if Braham went 2 tyres then.
Well, we saw Braham and Barrick and Telberg all pit at the same time. I think Via just left it 1 lap too long on those used tyres. That's a 2-second gain. Look,
The gap will be bigger.
Yeah, perhaps.
The gap, if you change to 2
Telberg
tires,
past Barrick.
yeah, it's like a 5-6 seconds difference between 2 or 4 tires. No, even
It's
more.
Not quite
It's
enough
like
gain,
8
is it?
seconds.
Yeah, it's not quite enough gain, perhaps, for Braham, look. But there's not 5 or 6 seconds, that is it, unless he made a mistake on his outlap, of course. We'll all come to conclusion, I'm sure. He's had 2 good pit stops in both races, hasn't he? So certainly made the most of his strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have put it better myself. But he does look very strong for the win. It's interesting that Talberg hasn't made a move on Barrick. I'm surprised that he's done that.
It was on the straight, so it really was a low-risk move, to be honest. He got past before they even got to grip spend. It looked like Barrick actually didn't fight it in the slightest also. This is the big battle on the track at the moment, the battle for 5th, with Swiderski, Skurlock, Solberg and Asbury. Braham's looking for his first win of the season and to consolidate that 4th position championship. And wide has gone Swiderski. Around the outside is going to go Tyler Skurlock. An excellent move there, great opportunism. Around the outside he goes, into the skyline. And we're going to be a lag. Has he disconnected? Hopefully not.
Well, he's dropped way down the order.
Please come back to us, Tyler. Don't disconnect when you've just done a fantastic move like that. That would be a massive shame. I think he has. He's not appearing on the time
12th.
screen.
He is in 12th position, Tyler Skurlock.
Has he continued going? Did he have screen freeze?
I do think so, because he's in
He had
12th
screen freeze.
position
Look,
following Kelvin.
Oh, what a shame. Did a great move like that. Oh, that is such a shame.
I know this one well, and yeah, it's a shame for him, but inevitable if you're running on a low-powered system. But Tyler now right behind Kelvin. Look,
very rare for him to have. Fastest after the race, look there from Yuri Braham, 217.1. He's not hanging around in the slightest, is he? He must have taken 4 tyres. Off the track is going Kelvin van der Linde, and that's going to encourage Tyler Scott to make a
16.7.
16.7. Jesper Torborg, a fantastic lap time then for him. He's released them from the shackles of having to fight for the championship. He's a little bit more free, of course, and he's got free of Barrick, and he's put 16.7 in. If we can just get back to the leaders, it would be helpful. There we go. Press the right buttons. But Barrick's gone with him, look at that. Barrick is not far behind him at all, so he must have set a low 17 himself on that lap. But a fantastic lap time from Jesper Torborg. That betters, actually, Jason Plato's 16.8 set in 1997.
yeah, a fantastic time. That's just blindingly quick. It's quicker than his race 1 time. But shows what new tyres does for you. I mean, if you remember, they were in the sort of 18s, high 18s before the pit stop, and just a 16.7. It's championship winning pace.
It really is. He's stamped his authority on this championship ever since the first round. In fact, he disappointed at the first round, which is unusual for him. He disappointed at the first round, and then ever since then, he's really been absolutely the driver to beat. VR has taken plenty of wins, but Torborg has easily been the fastest driver overall. But of course, he didn't get his rewards overall because he got a 13th at Nürburgring in the first race, which of course compromised his second race because he made a mistake in the pit stop, just changing to slicks when he needed wets on. And then of course he had his disconnect at Watkins Glen. So without those troubles, he'd be even further ahead in the championship. One would have thought, because they are those both his drop scores. But he's had to race half the season with the pressure of knowing that any mistake from him is going to cost him more than any other driver. So that's a fantastic resolve there from Jesper, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's still strong later in the season. I mean, Bjorn, you were watching the early races.
Yeah.
Do you think it's inevitable from early on that Jesper was going to win?
Yeah, I think he's the most consistent one. and he showed some good speed, some good consistency, like Ryan was mentioning. He had this bad disconnection at Watkins Glen, but overall he has been consistent. He has been a thinking driver, doesn't take too many risks, and yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, and he's got speed to burn as well, of course. And there's Solberg getting involved in contact once again. It's going to, the barrier! He's going to turn around by Matthias Klein as well. And through goes NATO and Asbury. And they go through on Klein as well. On Klein's hit on Diogo Lopez. It's all kicking off. Sideways he's gone. Off the track has gone Miguel NATO. Dropping back through the field is Dan Asbury. I'm not quite sure the reason for that. Perhaps he's dropping back to let Emil Solberg through again. But that was a bit of excitement there. Toby, what do you think of that incident?
Oh well, Dan made a very late move. He did a switchback. He did a Nigel Mansell on him, and yeah, he just wasn't expecting that. He wasn't seeing that one coming, and it's just he pushed him wide, and Solberg had nowhere to go. But he couldn't have seen him coming. There's not a chance. It was just such a late move, and Asbury's now has lost out to Lopez. But yeah, I mean, he was came from so far back and so far on the inside that nothing could be done.
And this is a wrestlers group now, isn't it? Look at this, they're all banging doors and banging walls. I think Solberg did run wide at the apex. Dan Asbury was definitely right up alongside, and he must have expected somebody to be there. He knew that somebody was close.
I just don't think he saw him in time. But a special mention to
just clipped that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, special mention to Lopez. He did a Jason Plato's type save on that last corner, just floored it in that front wheel drive lay-on, and managed to hold the line.
It's all about Plato today, isn't it? Jesus. But NATO is at the head of this group now. He's fought his way back through the field very well indeed, hasn't he? After that, of course, the altercation with Bogdan on the opening laps. Swiderski is in 5th. He's taken advantage of all that hassle, and he's only on 2 tyres, so he'll be laughing there. But Braham has dropped now into the 18s just, and he's got VR gaining in just 2 seconds. Look, that looks like it's still about 2 seconds. 1.5 now. So Braham was under threat from VR. Can VR take his 6th win of the season and tie Jesper for the number of wins this season so far? Jesper is the only driver this season to take a double win at one of the events, and he did that twice at KW Super Speedway and last time around at Laguna Seca. He also won in the RDTCC as well at Laguna Seca, so he obviously enjoys that track. Mind you, with the speed that Torbo's got, I'm sure he enjoys every track.
Yeah. Well, especially on the KW Speedway, I mean, that's an oval, and oval racing is something totally different than road racing.
Absolutely, to take a double win there, I mean, obviously it requires a little bit of fortune, but it requires an excellent nous as well, because that's it's very, very difficult indeed to take a double win at such a place where everyone's so close.
Indeed, yeah.
And Lopez got his lights on. He's dropped back in behind Klein and Asbury. He's got his lights on. He's obviously not happy about something. He's really pumped up. Great from the cussing.
Yeah, we saw Klein get into him on the first corner, causing him to go sideways. So he's obviously, those two have obviously been had a scrape or two since then also.
Absolutely, and Lopez is right up the back of the German driver. Matthias will be looking to move up in the championship. He's in 10th at the moment, but it's in the background. Solberg is off the track once again. He's having a torrid time, and Gerlach is way back in the pack, of course, after his pause, after his screen freeze, sorry. And he's still in behind Kelvin van der Linde. I thought we would have got past him by now, but obviously these two are travelling pretty quickly because they're gaining on this group ahead, this squabbling group, and they're allowing everyone to get forward. It's great fun for us to watch, of course, but VR is up into 1.3 seconds behind Braham now, and it looks like it's going to be on. Do you think VR can catch and pass Braham here, Bjorn?
No, he already caught him, of course, but I don't know. Yuri is going to fight until the bitter end. I mean, I really hope Yuri is going to win this one, and not saying that as a Dutchman, but also being a team member of Yuri. Yeah, being a team member.
We'll have no bias, thank you very much, Bjorn.
Come on, Yuri, go for the win.
Barrick's out of the race. Keith Barrick is out of the race. Look, suspension damage. He's obviously hit the wall hard somewhere. He's out of the race. And our third place man in the championship is out. Incredible stuff.
Wow. So Yuri can overtake him in the championship now for sure.
Well, it does depend on drop scores, of course, because this will be his
it
drop
does.
score.
Sorry, yeah.
So it'll be very tight.
Research needed.
Research is needed. If you could go ahead there, please, Toby. What is Barrick's second drop score? Because whatever it is, you can add that to his total.
Bear with me a second.
But this angry group has calmed down a little bit now, thankfully. It's all getting a bit hectic. Solberg is back at the back of the group. This group. Bogdan is still way back. He's not made his move through the field at all. Tolborg is 6 seconds off the lead. But it's all gone wrong in the final stage of the season for Keith Barrick. It's really gone downhill more and more as the season has gone on. Because he had the big altercation at Laguna Seca, where he tried to get past VR, which is necessary to do so. He didn't pull it off, and then slid wide in the gravel there also. And now suspension damage here in the crash. He'll be disappointed not to regain his Season 1 crown, but it has been a fantastic season from him. Extremely consistent. Plenty of speed. He was my tip for the title, actually. So, that's seen me with egg by face, hasn't it, Bjorn?
Yeah, yes. I'm just looking at the front fight now. Position 1 or 2, it's just getting so close. I mean, are we in for a great finish of the season?
Hopefully, and it's been these two have had plenty of altercations. Remember, at Rattlesnake Point, these two came into contact, and VR was penalised for it.
They have something to settle. Yeah,
they do have something to settle. VR, of course. Well, VR won't be diving up the inside against Braham this time around, will he? Because he won't want to get another penalty, and it didn't exactly help VR's championship hopes when he got penalised for his contact at Rattlesnake Point.
It's going to be close. 5 more minutes to go. 5 more minutes on the clock, so probably 2.5 laps after this.
Look at him gaining in the slipstream. Here we are. It's going to be on at the end of the straight. This is on. Is he going to go up the inside? Oh, he just has a look. Not quite. Braham trying to give him a run wide. Yuri run wide. On the track he goes, and VR takes advantage, and he's going to take the lead of the race. On lap 16, this could very well be the final lap. I think actually we'll get one more, won't we, Bjorn? We'll get one more lap after this.
Yeah, we do. We're after this probably one more lap, and then it's over the 2011 ATCC.
So, season 3 is coming to a dramatic close. Braham, looking for his first win of the season in the final race, has just done a small mistake under huge pressure from Francisco at Griffin's Bend. He ran wide, managed to keep out of the wall, but he's lost that position, but he's straight back on again on the BMW driver. I wonder if he got the pace to be able to stay with him though, because VR was gaining on him. But Braham takes that more narrow line into Skyline that some real drive drivers prefer as well. Oh, he's really on the limit through there, sliding through, getting it back across the other side for the dipper, and through he comes now down towards Forest Elbow, winding his way through the walls into the Forest Elbow, but I think it's all over. I think it's all over, Gone. You think he can catch up?
Yeah.
I think.
Francisco's just walking away, and now the straight is coming. He's just going to walk away. He's going to say thank you.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
He needed the slipstream.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. Jesper's 5 seconds back from this group, but he is going to be the champion. Jesper Tolborg recovered from a poor start to the season, and we have the championship update also from Toby Davis in regards to the battle between Braham and Barrick for the title, for the third place, sorry.
Yeah, before this race, Barrick's worst finishes were a 10th and a 6th. So with the DNF, that means he's got to carry that 6th place. I believe there's 2 dropped
there is,
scores. So, so Yuri needs to win this race, I believe, to overtake him.
We're going to have another lap. This is the penultimate lap. After this lap, we're going to have another lap. That's one thing for sure.
We've got another lap after this lap, do you think?
Yeah. Drivers past...
look! Yuri Braham's on the outside of Francisco VR coming down the straight, but he can't get the run because that BMW is so quick and the Honda is struggling down the straight, but he's got the draft. Will he make a move like VR did to him to show his nose and hope VR runs wide? VR was slightly on the edge there, almost letting the driver through. We're joined in the booth by somebody. Joined in the booth by Keith Barrick. Keith, what on earth happened? Just saw you out the race with suspension damage. Was it an accident or what happened?
Lost the front wing. Just overcooked it going into the last corner, and it was done. Tough season.
Been a tough end of the season for you, really. I mean, but, you know, it's obviously been an eventful season. I mean, how's it gone really so far? Are you happy with your season? It's been. I mean, you're going to be third in the championship. Hopefully, if Graham doesn't win the race, I think he might overtake you. Otherwise,
I would love Yuri to win this race right now.
Of course, he is kind of your teammate with the you being flying Canadian Racing. He's been flying Dutchman Racing.
Yes, definitely. That was tough, but no, it was just a tough race all around. Jesper did a good job.
Jesper's done a great job, but I don't know if you saw the incident, Keith. He had an incident with Diogo Lopez at McPhillamy, and that sent Diogo Lopez across the track into Hugo Gonçalves, and Hugo flips it over the barriers down the mountain, literally.
Really?
So this might go into the old courtroom. We hope it doesn't, but it might very well do.
Well, we'll see how things play out at the end of the race. It looks like Yuri's right on the slipstream of Francisco for the end of this race here. And I think we're going to get one more lap. There's 37 seconds left.
Yeah.
Oh, Yuri's off.
We do get.
Yuri's on the
he's
track.
off. He's off.
He's going to go to accelerate as fast as he can across the grass. But I think that's it. I think it's it.
Come
It's
on.
all over. VR's going to take. I think he's going to take his sixth win of the season. He's got one lap to go, and it's all in VR's hands. Yuri is pushing so hard. In the background, we see his Torbog just gaining on this group. But I don't think Graham's going to be able to make that gap back up again. Just two small errors, and VR's just nipped away from him. That's going to be. It's all over. 1.7 seconds on one lap. It's going to be hard to make up without. Oh, he's run wide again.
Oh no.
He nerves the outside of turn one, and Torbog's going to overtake him as well. He's going to have damage from that also. Oh, very unfortunate indeed. Let's look at the front of his car. See if we can see if there's any damage. There was a little bit of damage on the front wing, but not so bad. He should be able to hold on to his third position. He's got a big gap to Swiderski, who's in an excellent fourth. And that
I think just a big loss of concentration.
Yeah, just trying too hard. Of course, frustrated by the mistakes. As we were saying earlier, it's so easy to make one mistake after another, isn't it?
Oh, yes. I found it easy.
I wasn't referring to you, Keith, but yeah, you found that out in the hard way, really. Just so easy just to get heads up. And this is a great battle here between Asbury and Swiderski. Swiderski's on two tyres. Oh, both sideways off Griffin's bend there. NATO in the background as well, getting out of shape. They're both trying so very hard indeed to get out of the corner. It's synchronised. Sliding off! And Swiderski's sideways into there as well. He's going to run wide. It's Asbury going to run on him. He's on the outside now into the kink. He might get the cut back, running up the hill towards the tree. Not quite. This is exciting stuff between Swiderski, Asbury, NATO, Klein and Lopez. Shoot through. Oh, and sideways got Asbury out of someone park. He's onto. Oh, he's got it. His car's broken. His car's broken. What's happened there? He's out. He slid back. He's pulled off onto the grass. He slid
What's happening there?
Out.
Yeah.
He slid onto the wall.
I think he's done exactly.
Swiderski's gone into the barrier. Down to the S's. The BMW drivers are in absolute strife here.
The tyres have gone. Tyres have gone.
Too much pressure.
Yeah. They've just dropped off a cliff. Look at VR up in the high 18s as well. It's the tyres on the BMWs have just all gone off a cliff all at the same time.
Oh no!
Swiderski did pit very early as well.
Yeah.
NATO has come out on top of that group in fourth position. He's fought his way back through the field after Bogdan took after that eventual case with Bogdan. But VR takes the final win of the season. He finished level on Torbog, who is the champion. Torbog, the ATCC champion, 6 wins this season, 2 double wins. Great performance this season so far from the Honda Danish driver. I'm sure he'd like to offer you congratulations there, Keith, to Jesper.
That's why I'm here. I mean, he did an awesome job this season, and there isn't a more deserving champion for this season with the level of competition. He was the class of the field throughout the entire season, had a rough start, but you know what? He showed his true colors at the end of the season, coming in. I mean, he could have very well gone pole double win here. He had the pace to do so, and I believe he did that twice this season, didn't he? Pole double win.
No, he didn't get pole at KW Super Speedway because Yuri Braham got pole there. So
yeah, correct. Yeah,
so he did it at Laguna Seca, of course. And at the sharp end of the season, Jesper Torbog really has just shown his true colours. He's got stronger and stronger as the season's gone on. And usually mistakes creep into the game, but he just seems to have got more and more focus, hasn't he?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he definitely deserved the championship, and you know, I'm very glad that he did put it all together. I mean, he just did everything that he had to win it. Francisco put up an incredible battle right to the end. I was there at one point, but I don't know what happened.
The edge just seemed to go as the further through the season you went, really.
Yeah.
Why do you think that happened?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I could chalk it up to a lot of things, but really, in the end, I just didn't get the results I needed. I mean, I could blame it on, you know, organizing and it just a number of things. But you know what? In the end, it's on me to drive and do my job as a driver. I just didn't do it. So the championship was out of my reach because I didn't do the job that I was supposed to do as, you know, a contender for the championship. So. Good season nonetheless. I mean, I'm happy with the consistency that I had. Obviously, the consistency wasn't enough to win the championship, though, with guys like Francisco and, you know, Miguel and Yuri. Like, it was every race was a challenge. Plain and simple. Every race was an absolute challenge. But there couldn't be a better champion than Jesper this season. So I definitely congratulate him and see if we can get him in the booth for the interviews today.
Hopefully, he's a bit shy with his English, but hopefully we can hear from the champion. Bjorn. What a fantastic season it's been so far. Have you enjoyed this?
I enjoyed every moment of it. From safety car driver to co-commentary to even practicing training with the lads with the FDR team. I did a few laps in the first round to practice, and I enjoyed the whole season. And first of all, my congratulations to, of course, Jesper. Great season, and a real deserved champion for this year, like Keith was just mentioning.
Yeah, it has been, and Jesper is a truly deserving champion, isn't he, Toby? No matter if he goes to the courtroom, we hope it doesn't. But if he does go to the courtroom and he loses it, of course, it would be very unfortunate. But those are the breaks. But he has been a deserving champion if he does, in fact, win the championship, hasn't he?
Absolutely. I don't think he'll get a penalty for that incident. It was an unfortunate racing incident, but yeah, I mean, there's not a great deal you can do. If Hugo hadn't flipped over the barrier, I don't believe there would be an inquest into it whatsoever. But yeah, absolutely, definitely deserved to be champion this time round. And yeah, Keith was mentioning consistency. I mean, Keith's consistency was good. His worst finishes were a 10th in the DNF. Before that, he's only just had a 6th as his next worst result. So a great performance from him. Yeah, great performance for him as well. But Jesper just unbeatable in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't consistent. It was needed this season. It was excellence to beat Jesper Tolborg, and we are joined in the booth by a couple of drivers. We're joined by Yuri Braham, who had an excellent finish to the season, with a excellent drive through the field in from 13th to 5th, and also a third place, in the second race. But you were a bit disappointed not to take that win in your final race of the season, Yuri. Yuri.
Yeah, sorry, I'm here. Yeah, actually, I'm very happy with the results. The biggest change on this season was the high level of the driving standard. It was not normal, and this last race I had one call. I wanted to finish as first, and it seemed like I had it in the second race. But then the nerves were kicking in, and Francisco was also there. So yeah, I cracked under the pressure.
Well, you've had a fantastic season, and we congratulations for that. You have taken 4th in the championship, I believe. We'll update you on those championship results as we can, but the champion is Jesper Tolborg. Many congratulations to you, Jesper. How do you feel about your championship win? Is it one of the toughest leagues you've ever taken part in?
Yeah, definitely.
We can feel the enthusiasm there, Jesper. What did you think to the rivalry you had with Francisco and Keith? Was it intense? I mean, how did you plan your strategy to get the better of those two?
Well, just keep practice, learning the track, get into a good rhythm, and then just drive.
I mean, and we also saw plenty of intelligent driving this season from you. Very, very cool-headed. I mean, have you always been like that, or have you had to train yourself just to be, just to calm it down and be patient, or does it come naturally?
I think I'll always be very patient It's my driving style.
Well, we're very happy for you, Jesper. Well done to you. Congratulations on the championship.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
A superb drive it has been all season so far, as I'm sure everyone will agree. Francisco put up an excellent fight, but it wasn't to be in the end, Francisco.
Yeah, it seemed like it. I did the best I could. If anyone told me that I would be second and first in these races, I would have signed straight away. So, yeah, it's true. The championship was Jesper's to lose and not mine to win. So, and he didn't lose it. I couldn't do anything else.
What were the highlights of the season for you? What were your best races, Francisco?
I'm not sure. I would say maybe Spring and Rattlesnake, but I think my car had a little bit of the edge there on the drive, so maybe those were not my best performances. Those were the ones that I dominated, but I don't think that my car. I don't think they were my best performances. Maybe Nürburgring in the wet, I think, in the second race.
Yeah, holding your cool to take win, and we saw it so often. I mean, this final race here was actually, I think, the only race in the season so far where you've been in the lead and you've been overtaken. How did you manage to just keep out in front so much? Because I tried that and I crash, or I go slow.
No, I think that the BMW has very good traction, and I like very much to defend. So I think I have a very good strategy to defend.
You certainly have been very, very difficult to get past. We did see that, especially during Laguna Seca. Must have frustrated many drivers there.
Yeah, true. And then it's quite difficult to follow those guys and for them to follow me as well, because we have so different cars. I have a rear wheel drive and they have a front wheel drive, and we brake in different places. So that's why sometimes there is some contact between.
Absolutely, you've been a great competitor all throughout the season. Congratulations on your second place in the championship. It's a shame you couldn't quite make it, but Jesper was just a little bit too good this time around.
Thank you very much, and I would like to thank all my not my teammates, but my Portuguese colleagues that helped me practicing a lot, and they make it happen, because they are the ones who push to the limits every day. And I would like to tell as well.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I think I'm the guy who scored most points in the championship, but unfortunately for me, you have to drop two scores.
You do indeed. Of course, yes, we did have that very unfortunate decent problem at Watkins Glen, so it's kind of right that two drop scores came into that, because that meant that it wasn't an unlucky disconnect that decided the championship. But you were, yes, as you say, you did score the most points in the championship overall. So you've been a great competitor and a great sportsman. It's been lovely having you driving for the ATCC. We hopefully see you back in season 4.
Thank you very much to you all.
I really hope you guys do come back for the next season. I did announce in TeamSpeak that the fourth season of ATCC will start September 3rd. Race 1 will be on September 3rd, so you can look forward to that. I really hope you guys come back and race with us. So
that's very organised, Keith.
I think you'll have all the Portuguese there again. And thank you very much for the organisation, and congratulations to Jesper.
Thank you, Francisco. You've been a great sportsman. Well, we'll round up again. We say congratulations to Jesper Torbo. He's like the Iceman. We'll not get too much out of him. It's far too cool and calm. And Keith, I mean, you've organised this championship with Eric, of course, helping you, and with support from race department. How do you think it's been a success? I mean, we had over 60 drivers in total, I think, to take part in the league overall, right?
Yeah, I believe it was just over 60 drivers, and I mean the level of competition was. The goal was to raise the bar up in competition, but
you raised it too much.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I was talking about that with the drivers the other day, and I was saying, I do enjoy, obviously, I like to race and I like to win, but my whole goal with the championship was to draw in people that would compete and take it to the next level of competition, where, I mean, top 5 finishes don't win a championship. You know what I mean? And I got what I wanted. It kind of hurt me because I didn't win my championship. However, I'm so happy to see that the championship has grown to this level where we've got guys running within hundredths of a second a lap of each other, and we can provide a very high quality broadcast to the viewers. And I mean, we've developed a very big following over the season, and I thank all the viewers for sticking around and watching the races through technical problems at the start of the season and what have you. But it's more than I ever could have expected the series to grow to, and I just see bigger things as it grows. Season 4, Season 5, Season 6. I don't see it disappearing as long as I've got the following of these great drivers. I see us doing this for a long time. So.
Has been superb stuff. I mean, the competition was no better highlighted than at Watkins Glen, where the top 13 I think were within half a second of each other, which was pretty insane, especially around almost a 2-minute lap. I mean, this sort of competition is something we haven't seen in any championship that I've ever watched. So you must be pretty proud of the fact that the bar has been raised so high. Obviously, the bar was raised a little bit too high. He didn't win the championship, but
I know.
Still, it's lovely to see, isn't it?
Well, and the other thing is, I do think that with the exposure that the league has gotten to people that may or may not have known about it prior to the season starting, I do believe that the next season the bar will be raised even higher, because we've had a few guys join in late in the season who have the speed, but they were kind of stuck in Server 2. And I see the league actually getting more competitive, which it's making me shake in my boots, because I don't know if I can handle it. It's going to be great to see how the league progresses. The one thing though that will be looked at is we got to make sure that everybody on track is enjoying their racing. Everyone has to be respectful of everyone else. That's the key. Regardless of how good the competition is, we need to make sure that racing is done fairly, cleanly, and with respect to all drivers on the track. And that is important, and that is going to be a mainstay in Season 4.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for entertaining us all season long. 16 races you've shown us, and we've done over 4 months of racing.
Yeah, Ryan,
excellent to watch.
I'd just like to say thanks to Ryan for being up late and commentating on all these events. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I can help you out in any way with WTM.
Don't worry about it.
Commentating with you. And Toby, thanks for coming in and joining with us, and Bjorn as well. Thanks for not crashing the pace car.
I actually did under practice, so I was going in the one of the fast sections and I crashed it. Yeah.
Nice. I can't thank you guys enough for your support with the league, because without you guys, kind of stepping up and commentating, all people would see is just a bunch of cars driving around.
Exactly. So it has been great stuff. I have enjoyed myself anyway. So I do like the sound of my own voice, obviously.
Yeah, no, we know that, right? Well, thank you again.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see you in September, right?
September 2nd. Yep. Well, in the meantime, there will be a league planned called the ATCC, which is a GT league that'll be running a custom Ferrari F550 Maranello. Just a 5-race series, just to tide people off until September 2nd. So look for that. It'll be posted up within the next week or so. Just got to finalize some details.
Oh, that'll be exciting stuff. So, thanks to you guys, the top 4 in the championship, of course. Keith, Jesper, Francisco, and Yuri. You've entertained us all season long. You've all driven fantastically. It's a shame only one winner, but only one winner there has been, and that was Jesper the Iceman Torborg.
Okay, thank you very much. You.
And what have you made of that season, Bjorn?
Great
Exciting stuff?
Yeah, well, I'm still excited. I mean, great season. It started off for me in Watkins Glen. I missed the first race, and since then I was hooked on it. I was hooked on the championship. The competition level is so high. The atmosphere among the drivers is so high. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the viewers in Europe, in Asia, and America to stay up late, to make time for us to watch this fantastic league. So thank you very much to the viewers. Also, it has been very great to work with you, Ryan, and with Toby, and overall I think we have a really strong package with the ATCC.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And of course, Toby, you came in late to the championship, but have you been impressed by the level of driving and the high standard?
Oh, absolutely! It's right up there with the best racing we've ever seen, I think, in a race department series, and well, back series, I should say. And yeah, watching it all the way through from Road America at the start of the season, and covering for Bjorn at Laguna Seca, it's been an absolute privilege commentating on this championship. And yeah, I'd like to echo Bjorn's thoughts and say thank you to you, Ryan, and thank you to Keith for organising the championship, and thank you, Bjorn, as well for commentating with us. So yeah, I mean it's been great fun, and I'll see you maybe next season.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for watching as well throughout the entire season. All good things must come to an end. It's unfortunate that is the case, but this is coming to an end. And many congratulations once again to Jesper Torbog for his fantastic championship win. Over 16 races. It's been a mammoth task this season to take on the best of the touring car world from around the world. And we'll see you again in September. Thanks for watching.